Oh, guys, welcome, Grace. Welcome to the Crossing Argument. I don't know why our frame is a little different today. Uh, I don't see the guys yet in studio. I don't see them. Uh, the O'Neill and the other guys, I haven't heard from them of them. But Grace, welcome. Our screen, the background look a little different. I'm not saying the usual Crossing Argument stuff. I don't know what's going on, but it look a little different. But we live. It's this that we are live. So yeah, we are, Grace. Welcome and good to see you.
Thank you, everybody. Good to see you. I hope if the guys in studio hearing us, they should try and come on so we can see and know that they're there. And it's nice to be here. I I kind of miss you guys on the platform for some few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice to be here. So if you want and you see us, please help us to share the video on Facebook. If you see
Yeah.
us on YouTube, make sure you make a comment that
Cool.
you are seeing us, and we thank you for watching. So if you on here, please help us to share the video. It's very important that you share this video. Today we're going to have a very nice show. Um, we have some couple of guests coming on, and it's going to be very interesting. But it's good to be here, everybody. How was your day? How was work today?
Been a little busy. Uh, been a little busy, but I'm glad that we made it. Oh, somebody talking in the back.
Yeah, I think that the people from the studio.
Oh, so yeah, yeah. So there's that tuning we're locking on, but the guys in studio. But I've been great. I've been a little busy, but I'm glad that I'm back. I've been away for a while. I popped in on Monday briefly, but I'm glad that we are on. For some reason, they we had a little problem getting on today. I don't know what was going on, but I don't see. But we're continuing to endeavor to have the show. I know our people, our fans are eagerly waiting. Built-in pay, Sophia Blamo, Otelo Swat, Aliu Kamara, and Alex K. Dickerson. Welcome, guys. I know we're getting on late, but we ask that you share the show. I know we're getting late, but make sure you share the show. But Grace, how you doing? And how's everything, man?
I am doing great. I am doing great. Life is lifing. I What I would say today, I worked and I'm a very good. I can multitask like crazy. I am, I am the real definition of multitasking. So yeah, so today I actually worked and I met all my goals at work. At the same time, I cook a whole part of quesadilla
man,
while working.
man, man. Can you imagine?
Yeah, so that's the benefit of working from home. So I was able to cook a whole part of quesadilla. Though it took me all my 7.50 hours because I worked 7 hours and a half, I guess. Not really 8. So within that time, every time I got my break, I would do something. I went and pop all my thing quick, 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 quick. And my cassava be very nice. If you're near, I come to send some for you and your
Wow,
wife. Yeah.
that would be that would have
So
been
I
great.
mean, my day's been going good. The other thing is that today's a very nice weather in Pennsylvania. I don't know whether the weather nice out there in New Jersey with you.
Yeah, it's been nice a little bit though. It's been a little good. No,
Okay.
great. You know. So
Mr.
what?
Tomlin George.
Hey, Grace, what's up? Dr. Peabody, what's up?
Good. I see our
We good.
we got a little problem with our screen. We don't have our background. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on though.
Yeah. I don't. But anyway, we'll still be having.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Gotta
We
get
have a
this.
little bit of technical difficulties. It happens. This is the internet age. These things happen. So
Yeah. But it's good to be here. It's good to be here. Good to see everybody. Uh, and welcome, guys. Got a lot of news happening in Liberia, though. A lot of news.
we in the studio.
God, I'm not there yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not.
Well, they had a problem earlier today at the transmitter trip. So they were working on it a couple of hours ago. So I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find out whether they are back, but they had a problem earlier today.
Okay.
Um, so yeah,
Yes.
uh, yeah, but a lot of news in the town today, right? A lot of news in the town. In fact, when I was coming on, the president at this point, I don't know what time is it. In the last hour, the president invited 5 journalists to his residence. Uh, I won't call the three of the journalists' name, but I can tell you two of the journalists are Diamond from Spoon and Julius J. With three other persons. I don't want to call their names yet, but he invited them to his residence, and they were surprised. They got a call that they should go to his residence, and then he ushered them in, and he's meeting with them. Right after he came from the cabinet meeting that he had today, and the cabinet meeting, in fact, I just monitored the press secretary. She said that the president has not yet received the letter of the Minister of Commerce resignation. The minister, but she acknowledged that it was delivered to the Minister of State. Well, like I said, I was in touch with the Commerce Minister, the former Commerce Minister. He confirmed that he has resigned and so forth. So, but the president has yet to receive it from the Minister of State. So it's an audit protocol. They may resign. It's all in the news. What they're saying, he didn't receive it yet, but they already gone.
Well, is that a sign that the president may not accept it?
Well, I don't know, because I know another person was telling me that several officials were let go, but they refused to, and that I don't want to give it credence, because it's the president's prerogative to fire you, and according to the Constitution, you serve at his will and pleasure. President, you don't have to give a reason for firing you. You better get out tomorrow and say, hey, he the president and say to money. For some reason, I just don't like when you laugh, so I'm firing you. And that's the Constitution. Then I fire you, Grace. I'll let it way how you dress. I fire you. That's why when you are giving appointed positions, that are disadvantages in appointed positions.
Yeah, but in the you gotta understand, in the real world with people that are conscious.
Yeah.
Although this will employment, the president can let you go at any time because you work with the pressure of the president. But in any real society, the president has to have a substantial reason in why he's firing people. It's not because I work for you, you can just fire me. Life is not like that.
I agree,
So
Grace.
I understand it's the Constitution, but something there's a clause in there that what is the right thing to do. So you just fire people if you want to fire them. So we're talking about a little bit about modern resignation and moving forward, but Liberia needs a lot of changes when it comes to the Constitution and every other thing. The president is like a god in the country for some reason, and so they can do anything they want. Now the president has to have respect, but the power he can just be free to do anything like that. It's not really nice. But you gotta understand as well that these people they push the people into power because they're looking for positions. They're not pushing the people into power to change the society. So when you're pushing a president into the power just because you're looking for a position, these are the things that happen. Everybody just so focused on the employment and what position they got instead of then focus on really bringing the country to where it's supposed to be.
Yes. I mean, Grace, on a serious note, if I would really love our Constitution to be amended, a lot of things in our Constitution should be amended, should be fixed, because the Constitution, I don't know, when people wrote the Constitution, especially 1986, how do you call it? People, according to what we heard, because President Doe wanted to run. Doe was military leader, and he said that he was going to return power in 1985. So when it wrote the Constitution, I think Doe even carry age up and all just to be qualified to run. And the guys he appointed they had the Constitution draft Constitution committee, then the advisory committee. But then when they submitted a report, it made in a way that I thought it would be eligible to run. You see, like I was talking to somebody last night from Guinea. The guy in Guinea, he been there for 3 years. But now he promised that he will be there for 3 years and organize election. But now apparently I mean, Dumia is, I mean, he's trying his best, but yet and still, people need a functioning democracy. So apparently, he doesn't want to give power. So now, apparently, he seems that he won't run too. You see, and so forth. But the constitution of our country needs to be amended because people just take advantage of a lot of stuff they do, and then they will create that imperial presidency, and that's the problem I got. But because the president now, yeah, he can fire you and anytime. Only the lawmakers he has no control over, but he's powerful enough to remove a sitting Supreme Court justice, or even to influence the removal of the pro tem, the speaker. He can do anything. That the president, the president in our country is very powerful. You know.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of sad thing. People that go out here is
Go ahead, Grace. When you finish up. Okay.
yeah, it's not supposed to be like that. So that's the reason why we always we sacrifice our time. Some of us don't have to do this, but we sacrifice our time for like her to get to where she needs to get to, and our contribution is to speak. So we are speaking, and if Liberians can understand, most of them will even support us when we're speaking, because Liberia is behind 1847. Even the people that came through 1847 was not lacking like this. You see, so we hope that they can do an amendment of this constitution. And I always will sit there and say that now these two parties, I know somebody will disagree with me. The UP and the CDC, they are not the way to go. Liberia need a whole new a group of people to steer the country forward. I would think that, because Omen Boaka, the people say a lot of things about him, that, he was a straightforward man. He lived his life modestly, and they felt he was the leader at the point in time to do what he's supposed to do. And when he came into power, I thought he would change stuff by even bringing new ideas, meaning new people, and deal with some of the old people that that actually did their work and got tangible to show that when they were in that department or they were in that ministry as leaders in leadership position, there was transformation that went on there. So he was in government for 2,000 years. He should have known those people. Then you bring those people back, and then you bring a whole bunch of new people with brand new ideas to carry the country forward. But if you continue to hire people because of policy, because they talk for you, and they make sure they supported you in the election, Liberia's not going to go anywhere. If these people continue to get into power and just put in their people, they're going to continue to destroy the country to the core. And history will remember they and their family members, because you don't do a country like that, and people will hear statistics when they hear their names. In the near future, when some of us already in our 100 years, the children that are coming up, when they hear some of your names, they will be disappointed in hearing your name, that you never did anything good for the country when you were there. So I still expecting Joseph Boakai to change things around. I don't think that he could do any good thing when it comes to from now to 2029. I think he can try to do something. I think he needs a PR or professional group of people that will rather go from county to county and from city to city, bringing forth all the things that he's doing for the country, so we can be aware of these things. And when things are done in the country, they need to make sure that their platform like this knows what's going on, so people can be able to know their accomplishment are so far. I listened to the press secretary. I couldn't even understand what she was saying. The reason was that the noise was so much in the background. Executive Mansion, back in the day, when the press secretary talking, when they say perfect decorum, you can't even hear a sound. How your God, our country looks so foolish like this? On the internet age, in this day and age, what other people are watching, and the press secretary giving information concerning the president and his different towers, and the noise in the background, people can't even hear. How you expect the press to really carry that thing, and the people on the internet to really carry it? They share it, but we couldn't hear anything because of the noise in the background. People, bring up, there's somebody was even asking for coupon and what. I could hear it. I was just, it was so shameful. The respect
Grace,
that I felt for the place, I lost that respect. Yeah.
Kula watching, Kula say what you say, what you say.
There's noise for in the background, Kula. If you factual, if you go back and listen to the video, there was a whole lot of noise in the background. We couldn't even understand what you were saying.
What
Well,
you
you need
mean
to
the
put
press conference
yourself
that they had
together.
today at the mansion?
Yes. I got a video. I was sitting there, I was putting in the car
No,
for
great
me.
pastor, watch that thing. I hear no noise, but
Oh, you didn't hear any noise?
I hear noise, but
Oh, let me share it because the one I heard, except maybe the person who was recording it, but the person was right in front of her. So where was the noise coming from? Because I guess the person recorded it from the house and the noise was to the house. I went on the Executive Mansion website and there where I watched it and the noise. I'm going to share it right now because I like to be factual when I say stuff. I went on the Executive Mansion website, it came on my phone, and I watched that thing. There was noise in the background when she was speaking, so I couldn't even hear what she was actually saying. When you are giving a press conference, make sure the place is quiet enough for people to understand what you are saying. It's very important for the president's office and it's very important for the country as well. And, you know, we have to get this
But Grace,
country
no, but
do better.
in that executive mansion, right? When you in the place can do that press conference, people up and down in the places there, so and so forth. So maybe that the doors and things in the elevator they
But
was
it's
busy.
not supposed to, but ultimately, it's not supposed to be that way. It's not
But anyway,
supposed to. If the
you
people
say you
who
heard noise, but I didn't hear noise. But anyway, that everybody get
if
different
I
view.
was in Joseph Baga's cycle and helping him with the government, you wouldn't even see that. I will make sure those things are all put in place. That's why how you present your president. If you love the president, you will present him in that face and manner. They just, although the president got his own, things going on, but the people around him are not helping him. There was too much noise in the background. The doors are supposed to be closed. There should be perfect decorum. There will be no noise in the place. Somebody was telling me, I said, even with the librarian in Europe calling when they go to the function, the people can make so much noise until you can't even hear nothing. The people say, I know why librarians like to do that. So please, next time, Kula, if you hearing me, you have to make sure that place is quiet. Because when you give it the press conference, international people watching that thing. And when they see you are giving it like that, they take like word to be nothing. All those things help the people not to even help the country. So the people ain't ready, they ain't serious. Who gave press conference like that?
Wow. Well, Chris, that's your observation. You know, a lot happened in the country as I listening the commerce minister turning his resignation, resign. I must applaud Ami with that very much. You know, he got a car. The Liberians say, "Hey, the car was too expensive." People talk instead of, even though the processing getting it was right, the optics was bad, the price was high. He said, "Look, for my family, the interest of my family, and to avoid all of this, I will resign." Resign. You know, uh, if he have a political future, maybe that will come back after he resigned on that. But let me say this: he took the guts. He could have said, "You know what? I'm not going to resign until the president fired me. I'm not going to leave, or I will turn the car back and stuff like that." I mean, there's nothing in that I say he obtained the car. Fortunately, the outfit were back to say that, hey, we don't need $100,000 car. So, and they went after him, but they were going after his family, his children. How do you feel? You got young kids. Somebody go after you like that and go after your family and stuff like that. So you say, you know what? I'm going to let it go. But what I'm seeing here, Tony, like Chris said in a conversation, you got $22 million from a public work minister. I can't even give it kind of it, sabotaging his deputy because the guy had the technical know-how and don't want this guy to come close to him. But yet and still, he's still there, walking free. What I see here, as I said yesterday on the show on Monday, the president have the willpower to lead, but he doesn't have the energy, and that's a problem. I show some of the things he talked about, or something he did 30, 20 years ago, working for government. The energy is not there no more. And unfortunately, I mean, I would say that. I mean, I don't think President Barker knows what's going on in his government. I don't think he knows. Does he have the energy to keep up, to check those emails, read the letter, read the different news media, follow up, and read all the different reports? I don't think he have the energy to do it. And what I seen today unfolding in Liberia is a real drama. How can we sit back, criticize, President, we have did this, President, we have did this, and some of the simple things to get it done, they can do it in 9 months, almost 10 months. We're in 10 months now. Some of the most simple things. You complain about President Weah, he's traveling here and there, he's traveling. There you go again. Another trip should be coming up, according to front page. Another
And
trip
he's
is
going
coming up.
to Italy. He's going to Italy.
Another trip again to Italy, you know. Yeah, Papa enjoying a little break, you know, it's all right. Nothing wrong with that, you know. They're water you, the Papa retire. He's taking a little break, but there's a lot of drama going on in the country. The people are not happy. They're very UP too. They have their own friction in the party and stuff going on. At the end of the day, they say when the two grass fight, what happened? Or what happened? The grass suffer, right? Two animals fight.
On two elephant
Two
fight.
elephants.
Two elephant fight. The grass suffer. And right now, the kind of division, things that are going on within the Unity Party, the Liberian people will become the victim because I really haven't seen the rescue yet in 10 months. I have not seen it, to be honest. I have not seen any rescue yet in 10 months. When we have a president, but now the criticism were high up there. Oh, they're doing this. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. And you guys ran on the mantra that you got was the most educated people. You had a president who had working government 40 years for LPRC, LPMC, on the other committee, the vice president. And to start all like this, it's embarrassing. Let me stop here.
But Chuchu, welcome.
Chuchu, welcome. Yeah, I was talking about this Army modality resignation. So on the first thing we discussed it. You know, many people don't understand that the you know, it was money that was they call it let me be honest. It's called there's a money that was in that account that was left there by the WIA administration. It was to build the capacity of Ministry of Commerce and LRA. So when they took over, the LRA boss said, "Well, you guys got money here for your vehicles and so, which was under the tune of $4 million." So the people said, honestly, maybe you'll say the optics, but to say I hear people calling for to be prosecuted and to go. I mean, come on, where he did now? Okay, the cop. Well, they say the amount was so high. That's the optics. That's a debate. I agree, but to say he didn't steal the money, or he steal money, say he put it in pocket. No, but the car optics. The car was $96,000 car. People had a problem with it. Okay, and I think from my understanding, he wanted to see the president yesterday, and President Boga refused to see him. I think he just said, "Well, you know something? It's like I said about this man with the pleasure to this man. If the man want to see me, it's time for me to take my exit. Because if any of you guys, my bosses here, and I try to see you guys and give me a cold shoulder, I mean, the direction on the wall that maybe you want me, I'm not enjoying your confidence no more. So I will leave." So he resigned. And when I asked him this morning, he said, he said, "Look, my integrity and everything, I will just focus on my business now and move to my business stuff." But that's it. That's the kind of government that's our country. That's how the Constitution is designed. So you are appointed. The Constitution says the president will nominate an official, and the Senate will confirm with the advice and consent of the Senate. And after they confirm you, the president then has this full charge of you. And now you serve by his pleasure and his will. So he has resigned. The president, I'm sure he will accept his letter of resignation by tomorrow or tonight. Because yesterday they had a cabinet meeting today. I heard that the meeting continues tomorrow, and we get more. And so for now, let's see what happens. But other people that are hearing that they were going to resign, they're going to fire them. I think they still enjoy the president's confidence, because I saw some of the people in the call. I saw them with the president today, and I mean, the president is still enjoy his confidence. So, but resigning, the issue of the car was an issue, a big distraction, and so I made resignation. It makes sense. So I don't know. I don't know. You guys can tell me whether you have anything else to be done to him again. I don't know, but it's up to you guys, your own views on it. But for me, I think
did he commit crime in the process?
no crime was
And the
committed.
government policy violated in terms of the policy public policy perspective.
Not at all.
Now, quickly, maybe I would join while going for my other issue. But quickly, Tumani, good evening to everybody. There's a difference between the public sector versus the private sector. I see some folks even send me personal text asking me that around the world, it's not only Liberia, so we cannot change our constitution for that. Everywhere around the world, the president reserved the right for those that work in public sector. So if you study strategic public sector gathering versus the integration of the private sector, there's a huge difference there. And again, sometimes people will say we're not knowing the difference between the two. Now, the private sector, you have to dismiss people for cost. In the private sector, particularly the executive across the world, either it's a monarchy, it's an executive constitutional government, it's a Republican kind of a government. The president reserved. That's one of the reasons why the president at the time of even the world's most powerful country, democracy, America, Trump, and any other president before would dismiss their cabinet member at will. They say at the will and pleasure. That's also so. Trump dismissed the former, I think, was the guy, the former oil giant that was served as Secretary of State. He even called Trump a moron at a certain time. Trump dismissed him for no cause. Trump dismissed him. Trump went on to even dismiss the FBI boss that was even on tenure. So everywhere in the world, all of the countries that are in the world that serve as constitutional democracy or monarchy or whatever, they serve those appointed officials serve at the will and pleasure of the president. Our constitution is not unique. It's not in the Liberal constitution that causes that. It's the process about the public sector. And that's one of the reasons why folks even were telling comments at the time, coming from the private sector to the public sector, it's a kind of a huge difference because the operation there is within the ambit of the presidency, the king, or the prime minister. All of those will have to serve at the will and pleasure of the official. That's why they appoint them. Now, in the private sector, for instance, in the meandering something of what we call the public service versus the integration system. Now, you have to do a competitive process. You have to apply for a job. You have to be vetted, and you go through different means of system, and you get hired. In the public sector, you don't necessarily have to hire and apply, particularly when it comes to appointed job. The president just call you, say, hey, Mr. Tumani George, I believe you can serve in the capacity as foreign minister of my government. Do you have the pleasure to accept my request? So George is saying to the president, Mr. President, it will be my pleasure to work with you. Now, Mr. George comes with a lot of competence and the understanding of the job. But again, the nuance of the other issue is that you serve at the way, you didn't apply for that job. The way you got the job in some way, and that's one of the reasons the public sector sometimes leaders. Like example, Trump. A classic example is Trump. Trump believed that you pay too much loyalty to him, he allows you to flow in the government. So in the public sector, it's like the process of you working, and that's why the Liberian Constitution is very smart in it. Those that frame the Constitution, because it's workable across the world, they say you serve at will and pleasure of the president, not on the basis of competence and the rest of those things. So basically, I talked to provide God, receiving a lot of message as to if is our Constitution as union. No, it's not our Constitution across the world. All government across the world, official of government serve at the will and pleasure of the leader, either the prime minister, the king, or the president. Now, in the private sector, in individual countries, again, it don't happen that way. People will be competitive, vetted, and will have to do that in keeping with that. Now, back to the issue of the executive mansion. I started touring the executive mansion when my late father worked with the former president. I had the opportunity to read it on the executive mansion is constructed in a way that most of the processes in the executive mansion, particularly the parts of the executive mansion, where most of the briefing activity will happen, referred to as the parts of in the warehouse, the briefing room, the parts is soundproof. Right, so our executive mansion was constructed as one of the best. It was before referred to as the way we call it here, the knee of the warehouse was the executive mansion. So it got soundproof for people to talk because the distance surrounding area around it to hear COPA. That I think maybe somebody was doing an extra recording and they just brought that in the middle of year COPA, but COPA no.
This is
Yeah, all of the surrounding area around there, on the most serious note, to be frank. And now the first alone that divided the executive mansion from going towards Buzo Quarter. The face is extremely huge and great. So maybe somebody made a mistake and just say Copa they did not recognize anything. But I thought no, when the press secretary is speaking, but and the renovation process is a very wonderful building and the rest of that. So, but again, we got one of the best executive managers. I don't know, maybe they got some, maybe I don't know, but yeah, that son will be a little bit sunny. But yeah, but on the basis of our, and we'll continue to accept it until we change our law to say the president should not appoint. But until then, that's how it's going to be looking for us. Until maybe we go our next generation, that is going to continue to go.
I want to hear
Alex,
Chuchu.
Alex, welcome.
Chuchu,
Good to
yeah.
see you. Come up, Ben. Good to see you.
The Modasani. I want to hear Chuchu views.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Sorry, I was just listening to the press conference. It is noisy.
Thank you, Alex.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
God. You know, the brother always go on when they want to see a party going on.
It is very noisy.
You gotta bring it on.
Chris is correct. It is very noisy. It's not
I would say it
audible.
was noisy if it wasn't noisy. I mean,
Yeah.
I really want the government to succeed. So,
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. So let's get down to business. Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, I read about the resignation of Amin Moda. I think it's long overdue. Amin Moda, first of all, should not have gotten that job. The only reason he got that job is because his relationship with Joseph Walker. There were no vetting. All right. He had demonstrated nothing in substantial in his previous role as on the investment commission. In fact, there were many corruption allegations. But our media seem to downplay. First of all, they don't do any research, first of all. So he got that job with a lot of conflict of interest. And so far, he has not performed anything. The price of rice is high or higher. The price of gasoline is high or higher. There's the small business in Liberia is still in deplorable condition. So even before they even go to the corruption case, he's been very ineffective. He's been, poorly manager of the commerce and industry. Commerce and industry is one of the most important ministries in Liberia, next to the finance ministry. That's the ministry that's supposed to ensure that we get jobs, we get industries going in the country, we get employment. And so far, we have seen nothing. So I don't think anybody here can support such a incompetent, such a poorly performing minister. It's one thing to run your restaurant or your hotel, but it's another thing to perform in a public capacity. And so far, he's failed miserably. Very contradicting. Did not handle the crisis correctly. Still, we have Lebanese people. The majority are importing rice at a very steep price. There's no plan on rice production. I talked about it here a few months ago, up to today. There's no way of self-sufficiency. So what has he done? Secondly, the allegation and the corruption was not discovered by the government. It was discovered by Spoon TV. You cannot have a government, a Ministry of Justice, a NSA, right? GSA. You have all these functionaries in the country, but they do absolutely nothing to discover even one misappropriation. So why are they there? What's the purpose of the Ministry of Justice? If we got to rely on Spoon to tell us who buying car, and we got to rely on Spoon to tell us who taking money, who traveling. They're completely useless. They're just taking money from the Liberian government. So the fact that Joseph Walker administration did not uncover that misappropriation, the fact that they didn't even know anything about it, shows the level of complacency and the level of complete idiocy. So he did not. So for somebody on newscast did an investigative reporting. I mean, but I lied about it several times on Spoon TV. Okay, he did not admit to the improprieties. 2, misappropriation is corruption. It is a crime for you guys who won't be in politics. Misappropriation is as severe as going to the bank and stealing money, which means if they gave you a certain amount of money to buy a car for the company and you took that money, you bought it for yourself, That is corruption. There's nothing light about it. So I don't know where you call corruption, because when we say corruption in the country, we say these people are corrupt. You'll say, oh, they're not corrupt. Oh, so why was the money misappropriated? Why was the asset of the country, if cars were being allocated for the entire ministry and the minister took it and bought his personal car? It's a crime. It's a violation of the law. So, but we don't prosecute people like that. So the issue here is, one, will he be prosecuted? He should. He should be prosecuted for misappropriation, for abuse of power, for mismanagement. These are the things that got our country behind. Because somebody do it, oh, they resign. I see my friend, Brother Paul Kennedy there clapping for Army Mother. For what? The man came, he collected pay for 10 months. He did nothing. He carried the rice price up. He carried the gas price up for our people. And today, you know, he misappropriated money, or he didn't follow the process. Every ministry has a legal team. Every ministry has several administrative officers to guide the minister, to tell you what you can do and what you cannot do. Okay, so if you're concerned about, okay, should I take this money or should I take this asset, there are legal services provided. If you ignore all of it and you go and do it, then we'll feel sorry for you. That how will be running the country. So I think he needs the Ministry of Justice, the Solicitor General needs to start an investigation and to prosecute him for misappropriation and set the example there. If that were my minister a long time, he'd be on an investigation. So I don't take corruption lightly, because corruption kills. Corruption is why our country is in the state it's in. I don't take misappropriation. If they give you $1 and say you need to go and buy bread, that means you need to buy bread. If you go and buy something different, you're misappropriated and you're breaking the law of Liberia, and you should be prosecuted just like any other criminal, whether you're millionaire or you're Irishman. And until we start to look at things that way, that country will never go anywhere. So that's my take on the Army Mother case. I give no credit to the government because they didn't even know what was happening.
Welcome, Ben. And
Chairman and Robert. But let me say something quickly though. I think Ellis Jones, I don't know where you get information from, because first of all, I don't know, the car wasn't bought by the Commerce Ministry. I don't understand. So I just.
But he's using the car.
There was nothing done legally.
But he's using the car.
Using words that.
But what he's using, my point here is,
but then
if he is personally benefiting from the car.
It was not spoon that funnel. So don't give credit to people.
Okay, I didn't see any report from the government. I didn't see any press release.
Why we even mentioning Spawn or closing argument?
So show me. There's a journalist. We
don't care about Spawn.
It doesn't matter whether that's Spawn or BBC. It does not matter who.
Listen, they now increase gasoline price, and again, most of the folks, and that's one of the things we should say.
Yeah, clarify.
Let me.
So what's the gasoline price today?
Listen to me. Listen, there's a system globally, and in terms of the structural policy system globally, when the price of gasoline, when the pump price goes up, in the major OPEC countries, it affects all the countries. Even here in America, we were buying gas at 20 times for $5. You want to $4, it's around $3 now, all over the globe. So
what's the job of the Ministry of Commerce?
In our region, we got one of the best pump price in the regions: Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Burkina Faso. In the region, we have one of the best pump price. So that's very friend. I'm not a fan of Army Mother, but I want to sit here. You say he didn't increase.
So what policy did he think that Liberia should be paying $6 for gasoline?
The price to keep it at a certain level in our country, and that is
but it increased.
It didn't know.
Okay, what the price of gas today? What the price will be? We get our information. Since you don't know.
I think you're not been for more than 30 years, so I can't argue. You're not been for more than 30 years, so you don't understand.
Okay, you don't have the.
He didn't increase it. He didn't increase it.
You don't have the. So the information I'm giving, they are factual information.
No,
gas prices. Listen to me. Gas prices has gone up since January. Rice prices have gone up. So if you want to challenge that, you don't need to be like, go to know that information. Go to the Ministry of Commerce, get the prices.
I'm just trying to provide information to you. Why we can continue, but
let me educate you.
Okay, guys, we gotta move on. We gotta move on. Chairman Ben have not spoken. We got Robert and we got our guest, Mr. Akina. So let's move on to Chairman Ben and then Robert and And that's when we introduce our guests. Yeah.
What's the Amin?
Huh?
Is it Amin? Is that it?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're talking
yeah.
about. I mean, yeah, second thing.
I wish Amin well. He made a decision. I wish him well for him and his family. I thank him for his service to the country for the length of time he served. There was definitely this controversy, but we wish him well. The country move on. We look towards the president to make a new appointment, and we keep moving. That's
Ben, let me ask you a question. So I beg you, Ben. I hear critics. People are saying in the news in the day that LACC should go after Amin. I mean, what's your take on it?
I don't know. It was a crime committed. I don't know if a crime was committed. I mean, if there was a lack of judgment in him, in a car being purchased. I mean, the money wasn't stolen by Amin. I mean, they didn't take government money. If he used it, I mean, he didn't even use the money, right? The car was bought by LRA. I think what happened here was a conflict of there was a judgment issue here, right? As the minister, from what I understand, the money should have been for capacity building to purchase more than one vehicle. He made a decision as the minister to say, you know what, let me buy one vehicle for myself rather than buying 4 vehicles for the ministry. So I don't know if that's something that rises up to LACC. I don't know what the crime is here. Except somebody can show me how crime was committed. I don't know why he should be investigated by the LACC. Those are my thoughts.
Okay, so people, I did not give my thoughts on. I mean, so before Kakwa come here, I have to speak.
Huh?
I've been here before all these people.
Hey, sister, don't let me lose my train of thought,
No,
please.
I didn't get my thoughts on Ami at all.
Okay.
I was just saying if I
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I respect Ami Moda for what he did. Very honorable thing. I really respect the man for that. To tell you the truth, the part where people start to threaten him, his family lives, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Like Prince needs to stop this thing. It's not fair to people. This man serving government. If he did a wrong thing, the government should go after him and investigate him. But I don't think people should attack him and his family. We all are Liberians. Just like you have the right to be in Liberia. I mean, Moda and his family has the right to be. They have the right to be in Liberia.
And yes, thank you, Grace, for that. I will add on that, and thank you for saying that, because we don't have a lot of that happening in Liberia, right? People don't know how to resign in Liberia. People don't. They would rather wait for something to or the president to fire them or something like that. I think what he did was the right thing. He was becoming a distraction to the government. He was becoming a distraction for his family. He was becoming a distraction for the president's agenda. And so he decided that, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and resign. Again, like I said, and like you say, if anybody's threatening his family, I think it's sad. I think some of the very same people who's yapping and making and talking all the things they're talking, I think at the end of the day, let's just watch and see. But if any laws were breaking, yes, he should answer questions if any laws were breaking. If he committed any crime, he should be investigated. But if he didn't do any of those things, I think he bow out and let the country move forward.
Let me jump in real quick. And I won't make the entire show, but this is very interesting. But I think I share a different opinion on this issue. But before I state my opinion, let me just say for the record, I think Amin Moda is a great man. I personally admire his business acumen. I admire the fact that he has continued to invest in Liberia, irrespective of who had political power. He has empowered lots of Liberians with his various investments, and I will continue to admire him for that. And I at one point I thought that he was a great asset to Liberia, and I think if he's able to move past this issue, I think he remains an asset to our country. But when we speak on this particular issue, I want to be very clear. Amin Moda made a terrible decision, and with regards to the legality of this issue, I think misappropriation of funds is considered illegal. And when money is given for a particular purpose, and that money is used on something else, that is considered illegal. That's a crime. And I stand corrected. I know my brother Sylvester is shaking his head, and I respect the man tremendously. But let's be clear. The money was given to purchase vehicles for capacity building, for operational purposes. That money could have bought 3, 4, 5 different vehicles. Why did even if the argument that he did not personally purchase those vehicles, the vehicle that he purchased, why did he accept it, knowing all of the facts? He had a choice. Did not have to accept this vehicle, knowing that, look, this car should have been multiple vehicles. Did not have to accept this. He accepted it. Even if Commerce did not purchase the vehicle, knew he was fully aware of the purchase of the vehicle.
But that's why he resigned, right?
He did well. No, why he did not resign?
He resigned because of that lapse in judgment. Correct?
Right. But did he resign, or was he forced to resign?
Well, as far as we know, he resigned. The letter I saw.
Saw his resignation letter.
I saw the resignation letter. But if Amin wanted to do the right thing, Amin would have done the right thing last week, not upon the presidency. But I'm just saying, we understand the political implications here. So we can say, yes, he resigned. I get it, which is the point that I made earlier. Had the president come out and said, you must go, what you did was wrong, then we will not be having this political argument. And I said it.
Of course.
Can easily argue, I resign. I turned in my resignation.
That's what he let us say, Robert.
I agree, but I can't argue that. But again, when we say, well,
you're right. Honestly, I know quickly, you're right also. Basically, and that's the process of governance in Liberia. And Ben should know this. The fact that the president refused to
Exactly.
No, but I want to ask a question. The president refused to see. How do we know the president refused to see? And the president said, "I refuse to see." But let's be technical because we're trying to get technical here. And Robert, you will come back. You get your time. Sorry, we want to be technical here, right? What I saw was a letter from Amin Modad outlining to the president the reason why he was resigning. He had become a distraction from the president's agenda, and he didn't want the government to move. I didn't see no counter from the executive mansion saying,
"No." But Ben, you've been around for some time. You know that how does the executive mansion counter it? It's a process to not embarrassing. He's a friend of the president.
That's not the issue. For me, that's not the issue. Me and you can know, and we are talking about how this thing happened. That is what we're discussing here. What right now the notion that Amin went to the president, how the president to see him, and he went to talk to his intake, took advice.
Gossip,
right? That's rumor.
When did this happen? Robert said, when did it happen?
But Pee-wee, that's a rumor. You don't have any evidence to show that the man even went to the president's house. Do you have any evidence?
No evidence. It's clear.
Well, listen, I'm glad we're having a dialogue, right?
The only thing I disagree with Robert quickly, Robert, is the process about the misappropriation. Because I worked with the GSU before, the money was not within his domain. He was not the one managing the money.
Okay, Sylvester. Listen, if that argument suffices, right? If he did not use the money personally to purchase the $96,000 vehicle, but he understood the purpose of the $96,000. So here's the thing: if you and I are aware of the purpose of a particular fund, and you didn't go and purchase that vehicle, but I went and got the vehicle and said, my man, even though this car the money was supposed to be used to buy 3-4 vehicles for capacity building, I decided to buy it for you. You deserve it. You are aware of the purpose for which that funds was given. So as a logical person, as a person with integrity, you have a choice. Do I accept what is given to me, knowing fully well that it was used for another purpose, or
Ben said a judgment.
Do I reject it? So again, his judgment here was a terrible thing. He did not.
Exactly. He accepted 4 vehicles from the pit.
We won't be having a conversation. Absolutely, we will not be having this conversation. But
Well,
let me
yeah.
end on this note. Does this make him a bad person? No. But here's the thing. We gotta call a spade a spade. In this particular case here, Ben, I will say for the record, given the fact that he was aware of this, he was technically involved in corruption.
Oh.
Where is it? But tell me, give me the
Yes.
corruption.
The corruption is misappropriation. When you use monies that was given for a particular purpose on another purpose, is corruption. For instance, if we got $100 million loan, and that loan was purposely meant to build roads, and we spent 80% of that money on something else other than roads, and 20% on roads, how would you consider that? Would that be considered corruption?
Well, that's apples and oranges, and let me tell you
How?
why I say so. Right? One, the money we're talking about here did not go. It didn't personally benefit Amin.
Exactly.
Right? He didn't. There was no personal benefit other than the fact that he was riding the car. Right? The car.
But that's the benefit. Ben.
But Ben, that's the benefit.
But when I say personal benefit, the car is not in his name.
I understand that, but in the time period,
Government's name.
for the time
So there's
period,
no loss. The issue here is there's no loss to the state. That is
Ben,
the issue.
I get it, but it does not negate the
No,
fact that
Ben.
it does not negate the fact that $96,000 was not given to buy an SUV for Amin Modal. And here is another thing. In his first rebuttal, he made a very interesting point. He said, since I took over, I've used my own luxury vehicle. I mean, like myself, we love luxury. I like a certain thing, I like certain things. And so if the government had a 2005 old SUV and it did not meet my standard, I'm under obligation to make sure I send my luxury vehicle to Liberia.
So what would be? If you take Amin to court, there's a good discussion. If you take Amin to court, right? What are you charging Amin for?
Okay, I can tell
I'm
you.
charging Amin for misappropriation of funds and knowingly.
Misappropriation of funds.
Ben want to be technical with the thing. But let me. Was that? So why I said that when people, for instance, right? If you and I went to a gas station and we were supposed to go commit a crime, and I was supposed to be the lookout person, right? I was supposed to be the lookout guy, and I went and did my lookout work and I walked away. You went and shot the person. Are they going to hold you and I accountable for the crime?
Yes.
Absolutely.
But Robert, that's again, it's apples and oranges.
It's not apples and oranges. It was a word that the money was not used to buy SUV for himself. Why did he accept the SUV?
Robert, the car was not bought. The car title. The car again. I agree with you 100%. Right? There was a lapse of judgment here. There was in the essence of misappropriation. Yes, there was an intention for that money, but it was not used for that money. But the issue here, when we're talking from a legal standpoint, right? Where is the loss to the state?
Incapacitated Commerce Ministry. Because here's the thing now.
That's a
you have
loss.
an SUV that is at the Commerce Ministry.
Employees,
that Commerce does not need.
jobs that could have been done.
So you say that is the reason why. So Amin will be charged for corruption. Is that what you say?
Because misappropriation, according to our laws, is corruption.
No, really, it's an act of corruption, man. So here's my thing. I'm glad that he resigned.
I've got to move on.
He resigned, but to the president of Liberia and the Unity Party, let me be very clear with you. Do not come on social media and start making this argument that, oh, we have a president who knows how to act. No, you do not. If the president knew, but because of your point, and there are lots of people like yourself, you know the Unity Party boys. They're very good.
But you just said the president asked the man to resign.
I said perhaps he was.
So you gotta get him credit. If you can't have your cake and eat it, Robert. You can't have your cake and eat it, Robert.
Wanted to resign. I mean, should have resigned 2 days after that.
Robert, you're not gonna have your cake and eat it on this. You can't have your cake and eat it on this.
I'm not having my cake and eat it.
You came here and said that as a result of the president's according to the
No,
rumor,
I would never
the
get the
president
president
asked.
credit. I said
Oh.
perhaps he was forced to resign. But to your argument and to the argument of many, the president did not come up to say, I denounce what's happening, affirm on what's happening, and as a result, Amin must go. And so
I agree with you.
And so to the president, for all we know, Amin resigned willingly. This is not an action from President Bouaka with regards to what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And so do not give President Bouaka credit on this matter. Good luck to Amin.
No, but before I go further, before I go further, I will say this though. I don't think Amin was treated fairly because what happened with the issue of the inauguration money.
Oh, no, that different thing.
Oh, no.
You can say that. You can say that.
Oh, Ben, you have an issue with Mamaka Belete.
Tomini, because Mamaka Belete, them did yellow machine, because Miata family then did insurance money. It didn't mean that Amin should have gone and exercise a lack of judgment, because that's what you're trying to imply here.
I'm not.
So you can say it wasn't fair to him.
But Ben, you can tell, even though we don't know, but you can tell that some pressure caused him to resign.
But Dominic, why y'all want now?
So what they apply the pressure to the means are called.
I think some is arguing inconsistency, Ben. You can cherry pick. Who resigns.
Yeah, that's true though.
Apply that pressure.
That's the president's prerogative.
That's true. You know, that's why the country going nowhere. They selected and who to punish, and then who they
selective.
The country going somewhere.
Maybe we can get Mr. Phillips. Maybe we can
get Mr. Phillips trying to scam in here.
Because this is not about being fair. This is about, I mean,
Mr. Phillips, you tell this is corruption. Mr. Phillips, this is corruption, right?
Well, good afternoon, good evening to everyone on the platform. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. I think the challenge that we have as Liberians is the quote unquote street definition of corruption and the technical definition of corruption.
Thank you.
That I think that's what the argument is here. Once, even in your house, right? You gave the wife the food money, you went to work, and then she comes back and there's no food. I said, where the food? Well, I had to go to take care of something, and then I met a builder, so I had to pay the money. You misappropriated the money, okay? Then, so if there was a defined purpose for those funds in it, with a defined and clear-cut set of processes for that, if it was redirected, reapplied, as the former GAC guy was saying, there's no doubt about that. If it walked like a duck, quacked like a duck, flied like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a duck.
But I will agree with Tamalin's point. He brought up. He used the word. It was poor judgment. He should have known better. It was poor judgment. He did the honorable thing. He bowed out. He was becoming too much of a distraction. There's too much work to be done. So he did the honorable thing, fall on your sword, walk out, bow out, and then the president can focus on all of the things that needs to be done. There's too much work to be done in Liberia. And having such a distraction in that position, because he was holding two positions, head of the party and also Minister of Commerce. So it was too much of a distraction, too much of a burden.
Anybody?
Yes, certainly, exactly. And I think he did the right thing, but I don't think he did the right thing by resigning. I don't think he should be. There's any reason to say corruption, because I just think the optics was bad, but I think
that's exactly right. Yeah, the optics was very bad.
The optics was just bad. That's all. If I had advised, I would have told him, just get a car back and say, you know what? I didn't know it was this high.
That's exactly right.
Like Graham people talking, I give it back.
So that don't mean that corruption?
Huh?
That's still
No, it's not.
That negates according to your definition of corruption. So that's not corruption.
He didn't steal it.
We all made a mistake, but what you do after you have known.
But that's what he just did.
I would have turned the car back in. At least you would have done something.
And resign and still face the consequences of your action.
Exactly.
All right. When you become president,
So when it comes to the car now, Doc, can it turn the car back in? Get the money back?
The car is government's property.
Yeah,
but then who gonna use it now?
We don't use it.
It's for the minister. It's for the minister.
Anybody that coming in now,
let's get the car back.
anybody that coming in now using our car, then they'll be corrupt. The corrupt.
No.
Ben. Anyone who
comes in and give them the car, it's not corruption.
Get ready to go after plenty people. You know me or that car in La Bureau? The maritime commissioner uses that same car. So why are you talking here?
If the maritime allocate the funds for a car for 96,000 or 200,000, that's not allocated. When it's not allocated, and you take that's corruption.
At least they can argue with
big difference. I mean, what I could have done. What I could have done as an educated person, an experienced person, if he wanted a car, he could have made a requisition, right, to the budget, the Ministry of Finance, asking them to appropriate that for his personal car. That would not have been no problem.
Yeah, but Tumani, why are you laughing?
If the Ministry of Finance say, okay, even though it's 46,000, but we grant you the ability.
That's why we talk about the lasting judgment.
No, but these are the people who you say that you're educated people, that you're both people, that you're experienced people.
You educated, you can maybe say, Alex.
No, when you educated,
you saying that I mean it's not educated? Is that what you saying?
You're not educated because you're a business.
All of us make mistakes, Alex.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah,
Alex,
but
you president tomorrow, you will be mistake.
The problem isn't a mistake. When you
Can
come
move
out
on?
and start blaming other people error now, and start making it turn into something like, oh, it's my family, it's my no. What you did was wrong. It's misappropriation. Apologize. Hold on now. Apologize for your error, your misjudgment, your corruption. Then some of us will back you. But you can't, you want to turn a political thing now, like, the pressure, the distraction. You still, it's the same as corruption.
Why the man could not just continue driving his Mercedes Benz that he was driving 6 months?
Even better than that truck.
According to what I heard,
thank you.
I saw him. According to what I heard him say on an interview, he said because he had to go across the country, he couldn't take his luxury vehicle.
Then use the old pickup truck that are already there.
I mean,
Robert, to be fair to him, he had been using his private car the last 6-7 months.
Yeah, but we use that luxury that what we would do.
That's his business.
Using a luxury car.
The government assigned car to him. If you want to use it, then you use your own car.
No credit
for that.
No credit for that man.
You're not treated fairly.
You're not treated fairly. What? You buy a $1.5 million car for the president. You bought a $1.5 million car for the president.
The car $1.5 million for one car. Stop it! Don't say that.
Two cars.
How much? 1.1 million.
1.1. Man, y'all stop, man.
Too many things happen like rough auto on the main car.
This protest will be one of the talking about protests. The other criminals should resign too. Please.
Now who protesting?
And Ben, you said you don't know if the president refuses.
I said, can we go to the next topic?
Inform Africa. That's
okay.
I got a very special dinner with a very important person.
Man, you're the man, Robert. The boy don't like.
When I say my wife, you will be talking very important person. I drive for that. When I feel when you know.
Your body.
You better say I have a very important dinner with my wife. Please, you better say I have a very important dinner with my wife and go. You can't talk a very.
Well, too many introduce our guests. Too many.
Yes. We have an energy expert there tonight. We issue about electricity. We've been hearing a lot of noise about LEC and about the accusing the management team of involving in different stuff. But LEC that by the capacity they are right now, we have not. It should have been long ago past that capacity, and people talking about there's the company that involved the president. The guys, how do you call it? I know Jungle, some company named Jungle Energy, yes. And they said that company is owned by several higher ups in the government and so forth. So Mr. Phillips, I know you've been firing. I mean, you've been talking about this issue about this LEC business, and I want to ask you today. First of all, welcome to the closing argument again. But let's share with us, Liberian people are listening. Let us know what is tell us our energy sector now, and do you think there's anything that has been done wrong that we should know, the people should know, and how do we alleviate the issues that's affecting our energy sector right now?
Well, thanks once again to the platform, to all of the interviewees here tonight. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be on the platform. As always, it's always a pleasure to be on the closing argument. But our energy sector, the last time I was on the show talking about electricity, energy, it's still at the same point. Nothing has progressed. Nothing has improved. Nothing has been done better to alleviate the challenges of electricity in terms of expansion, in terms of increased capacity, in terms of making sure that the bills are paid to La Côte d'Ivoire, to CIE, so that we can have a continuation of flowing supply from La Côte d'Ivoire by way of Transco, and then into the LEC grid across Monrovia and other parts of the country. The LEC continues to connect more customers, which means increased demand, but the supply has not increased. There hasn't really been any increase at Mount Coffee. Nothing can be done there. It's been almost a year, and where we stand today on at the doorstep of the dry season, Mount Coffee is a run-of-the-river hydro. It does not have a reservoir, so naturally the water levels are going to go low, and the acute power rationing blackout are going to return within the next, I would say, anywhere between 45 to 60 days. So all of those problems, issues, challenges will return to the economy. The country continues to have a 12-hour economy from daybreak to sunset. And that's where we stand as a country. And I think the most egregious challenge, most egregious crime that's being committed, you talk about misappropriation of funds, you talk about corruption earlier, is that the bill that was supposed to have been paid to CIE in Ivory Coast has not been paid. And the Ivorians have already submitted a letter. I'm sure everyone has seen a letter on Front Page Africa. It's not me saying it. And there was an agreement made when the president was in La Côte d'Ivoire with his counterpart, Alassane Ouattara. And the LEC management team was there. They all penned the agreement, agreed on payment terms, payment schedules, and money has been collected since March up to today. And here it is, the country now stands with a bill of $19 million. Hasn't been paid. And the management team is asking for the taxpayers to pay that bill, even though the taxpayers have been buying electricity through the retail outlets, and nobody knows where the money has gone to pay the bill. And that's where we stand. And now that leadership team have concocted a scheme to go outside of Ivory Coast, to go to Ghana, to buy power from Ghana and bring it through Ivory Coast, that you owe $19 million. So for me as an electrical engineer, I'm still trying to figure out where the power is going to come. Whether it's going to come by Fanti canoes or Fanti boats from Cape Coast to Monrovia, or whether they're going to bring it in by truck. Because how will you bring the power from Ghana through Ivory Coast where you owe Ivory Coast $19 million? And the line losses, what we call line losses, that you will incur will be so great that when the power finally gets there, you got extra tariff that you have to pay to transmit that power. So that's where we stand, simply because poor leadership, bad judgment, incompetence, lack of understanding of the energy sector is what leads, and that's what governs, that's what directs the LEC. And that's why we as a country standing where we are today. No growth, no jobs, no opportunities. You got thousands of young people graduating from high school, graduating from college, and the economy is not creating jobs because electricity, which is the number one ingredient to stimulate economic growth is just not there. So that's where we stand. That's the state of electricity in the Republic of Liberia at this time.
Can I ask my question?
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't want to jump in on anybody. Mr. Phillips, I want to ask you a question, a straightforward question. You were here the other day on this platform and talking about this electricity thing. I want to ask you, clearly you seem to believe that there is incompetence, right? There's a lack of leadership here. I want to assume at all levels, because obviously the presidential level, the management level, all the levels, right? Because obviously something is not working if we keep having these issues. If you were asked to be the CEO or managing director or whatever the title is now of LPRC, what will you do in the first 100 days to turn this thing around?
That's a hypothetical, even though I'm not seeking that, right? I don't want to make it clear.
I 100% agree.
Yes, exactly. So, okay, first and foremost, I will sit down with the president and make one request. I want no intermediaries between you and me. I don't want no third party to give a message to bring the message to you, and then for you to give to the third part, to that third party to bring the message to me. I want direct connection. Why? Because energy is the heart of your success. It's at the heart of your legacy. Is at the heart of reigniting and attracting foreign investment in the diaspora to this country. That's the first thing I'll do. Number two, I will ask the president to change the makeup of the board of directors. I want competent people who understand the energy sector on the board of directors. We have a very good chairman of the board right now, graduated from the same school that I went to, who did energy law. And that's the person we want at the head, so that person will be able to write the type of agreements we need with partnership companies to help to invest in LNG.
Who's the chairman?
Who's the chairman? Mr. Emmanuel Tule. Emmanuel Tule. Yes. He's the current chairman. He's got his master's in law from the University of Houston in energy law. So this is a person who's competent. He understands the energy business. He writes power purchase agreements. He's competent. That was a very good choice by the president to put him at the head of LEC, at the chairman of the board. Number three, what would I do next? I will remove I would change the supply structure, because the supply structure right now, the supply chain structure of LEC right now is being used to launder money. That's why LEC doesn't have any money. That whole supply chain purchasing, buying is being used as an instrument to launder money. And how is it done? Everything from the poles, the cross arms, the transformers, the conductors, all of those items that are including the meters are being inflated 300 to 400 to 500%. And LEC, you can check it. If I'm wrong, let somebody call the program tonight, has a single vendor based in Ghana. So overprice the items, and LEC pays the pro forma invoice to this company in Ghana. And when the money gets to Ghana, that's where the money is split. And then the equipment shows up. I would change the entire supply chain purchasing, buying structure and open it up so Liberian businesses can be suppliers to LEC. Number four, what would I do next? I would engage the local banks, the GT Bank, the GN Bank, the AfriLand Bank, Echo Bank, UBA Bank, and bring them to the table so that we can invest in the energy infrastructure in a decentralized way, invest in solar infrastructure, which is rapid deployment in every county, and tie it into Transco so that when you get the banking institutions as partners, stakeholders, because private sector money moves faster than donor money. And when the banks are investing their money, they make sure that misappropriation and corruption don't take place. And because they want a return on their investment. Invest in solar. I just had a meeting last week on the very same Liberia energy sector for solar. we have a very good radiation pattern from the sun. So that means we can attract a lot of solar energy in a decentralized way across this country in every county for 50 megawatts or so that within at least a year or 2 years, Liberia will not only be self-sufficient in energy, we can tie that grid to Transco, and Liberia can be a net exporter of energy to the Transco grid and sell power across the region. The next thing I would do, I would decentralize LEC so that LEC has a sub-office in every county seat of government to support the decentralization law, which is the Local Government Act that requires so that the president will be able to create a county executive team, and part of the responsibility is the distribution of electricity to generate revenue. The next thing I would do,
Chief, you can just summarize it, but if you would use all of them, other people ask, can you just summarize it?
Yeah.
Mr. Sambi was the one.
My question was specific. I said, what he
Yeah, but Ben, you're trying to explain everything.
Hang on.
Yeah, but I asked him, what the hell
hang
doing
on,
what I did? You want a man to help you with a question?
No, not help with some of the summarize it, Ben.
And then last but not least, what I would do is I will support the Liberianization policy to get more Liberian subcontractors into the building of this grid across the country. That's what I would do.
In your first 100 days?
In my first 100 days.
Okay. My last question on this.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 2 questions each, and we'll go around.
No, we're doing 1 question each. 2 questions.
Okay. Listen, if there's 1 question, I'll stand down. I just want to know if it was 2 questions.
Can I come in next, please? Mr. Phillips, you sound like a very knowledgeable person in the power, business. So I want to applaud you for that and coming to share your ideas. And I agree with some of your proposal. But if I was president, and when I'm president, okay, I want you to tell me where I'm wrong and what do you do differently. First, I will prioritize the LEC. It will not be under the Liberian government. And the reason I would do that so that investors can purchase shares in it and I can run more efficiently. That the current model where the LEC managing director is hired by the president, the board of directors are all coming from the different ministry, most of them, is not going to work because they are all political appointments. Most power companies, including this one here, is run by private corporation. Government can subsidize them, government can purchase their power, but on our current structure, where it's a part of government, it would never work. It will always run a deficit and will always be inefficient. So I want you to tell me if I'm wrong about that, and if you're managing director, you think that's a good idea. First, let's make it private, where anybody who wants to buy a share in it, any company, they can buy a share in it. The second thing I want to point out here in the same question is that I was reviewing the kilowatts per hour cost. And I think Liberia is around 26 cents per kilowatts, which is way high. Sierra Leone is 16.16 cents. Namibia is 14. South Africa is 18. Togo is 19. So with the current cost of electricity in Liberia at that rate, with all jobs, the people in Liberia, whether you make this power company efficient or not, they cannot afford to pay $50, $100 every month for electricity. They just don't have the income. Whether in the counties or in Monrovia, 60% do have no income. So how do you suggest, after you build this infrastructure and privatize everything, that somebody's getting a bill that they can't pay?
Okay. So let me.
Last real quick.
Okay.
And this is a direct question. Will you tell us on this program today that the current managing director has done a poor job, incompetent? There's not even a financial statement on the LEC page since it exists under his leadership. So there's no information how much money they earn, how much money they spend. And I know your board of directors is a competent man if he's listening. Why hasn't he made the LEC publish the quality or yearly financial statement so that people can review what the situation of it? Thank you, sir.
Very, Very good. So let's take it from the top. Let's take it from the top, one by one. You are saying, you are making the assumption that privatization is the answer. That's the assumption that you're making.
Yeah.
And you're basing that assumption on models or other things you've seen. But I have to disagree with you to some degree. You can create, the challenge with LEC is not that it is government owned or government managed. The challenge with LEC is that we as a people, the last time I was on this show, I explained, we as a people from a very, very long time, we don't have an appreciation. We don't have a knowledge, don't know the understanding of how important electricity energy is to achieve our goals, our destinies, and to build a prosperous country. We don't understand it, because if we truly understood it, we wouldn't be having this discussion today. That's the confirmation. Number two, you can create a public/private sector model, okay? And how do you do that? We have the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission. Very beautiful institution. They provide a regulatory framework for private sector investment in the energy sector. But the challenge with LEC is, if you look at the organogram, all right, or the org chart of LEC today, is only one square with all of the arrows pointing to one person. Okay, try to draw that on a piece of paper. You got to be, apart from the president making the recent appointment of the new chairman of the board, you had the same person as the chairman of the board, the same person as the CEO, the same person as the managing director, the same person as the chief consultant who put the job position in the paper and applied for it himself and hired himself and wrote and signed his own contract. And then he's also the chief consultant. So try to draw that organogram on a piece of paper where all the arrows point to one person. Which investor in his right mind will approach a company like that and try to have a conversation? It doesn't make any sense. The next thing is, the challenge that we have there is that LEC does not contribute to the national budget. If you look at anybody who buys Libango electricity right now, the receipt is clear. The VAT and the GST goes to the Ministry of Finance. The rest of the money goes to LEC. But LEC is not accountable to anybody, because everybody doesn't even understand the energy business to request, to demand, to require of LEC to make a report on a quarterly basis. LEC is a great institution. Energy is the foundation of any industrialized country. What you do is you create a private sector relationship using the proper technology, so that these companies, the banking sector or private sector, can invest in generation capacity. And then your power company that owns the grid can then sell that power or buy that power, no different than they're buying it from CIE. There's no difference. There's no difference. But the challenge to here it is that there's a private company in Doison that built a solar farm, and they're having a problem, a challenge, a set of issues, complicated, just to interconnect, to do a PPA with LEC. Because again, you got one person showing up to the meeting in 4 or 5 different positions. So who do I talk to? The same guy. So, and if you do the private sector partnership with LEC, we will be successful. I give you one number. The 25 or 26 cents per kilowatt hour, okay? Energy rates are based on number of subscribers. The more subscribers you have on your grid, you can lower your rate because you can collect more. You have more subscribers. If you have less subscribers, then you have to increase the rate to cover your operating costs. So the more you generate, the more you distribute, the more you decentralize your grid, the more you can put more customers on the grid. LEC should not be selling meters to people. Give the meters, and then all you do, you augment the bill so that the person, as they're recharging, they're repaying for the meter. Liberia receives over $1 billion in remittances through Sendwave, MoneyGram, and the Western Union. So you can't say Liberians don't have money. The money's there. But the problem is nobody wants to put the money in the meter because the power is never on. The power is never on. What was your other question? Your other question was
about the managing director, money captain, and your chairman, who have not been able to produce now one single organizational chart or financial statement in all the years they've been there. But they got chief financial officer with MBA. They got, so I don't know what their job is, but every power company I can go to in Africa, I can get financial statement except for LEC. So what kind of job you think you're doing?
And as I said,
how are you going to bring a financial statement?
I just went to the website and they still say Burma Kamara that the chairman.
He is correct. He is correct.
But even if it's not on the website, I'm sure they got it. I'm just saying.
It's supposed to be on your website.
There is an audit. There's an audit that is ongoing. There's an audit that is ongoing at the present time. And the findings of those audits will probably be coming out within the next, I believe, 30, 45, or 60 days.
Oh, okay.
On the issue of financial statements, you are 100% correct. And this is my point. If we truly, if our leadership, even the past leadership, truly understood the importance of energy and the role it plays in the building, the growth, the expansion, and the attraction of foreign and direct investments into Liberia, they would take this as the number one issue, the number one ingredient to focus on and put the best minds to run this company and make it profitable. Energy is a business. It has to be run with that. From that perspective, it's a business. There's a technical side and then there's a financial side. How is it possible you and your boss go for a meeting with your boss's peer, make an agreement to make payments on a schedule that everybody signs, and you come back from March, April 2024 to today, and you don't pay the bill? That's gross insubordination on the part of the current management team. That's gross insubordination. That person shouldn't even resign. They should be fired. They should be fired, audited, their passport seized before they leave the country. And I mean, every bank should be checked in both Ghana and Liberia for hidden bank accounts. No, I mean, that's just fundamentally wrong.
Thank you. You answered my question.
All right, guys. Welcome. Fulcano, Shelton, good to see you. Welcome to the Closing Acumen. Chris, you will come in, and then if we kind of have something to chime in or something to say on the topic, that'll be great. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Mr. Phillips, my question is, do you know if there is an NGO or what part do any NGO in Liberia play when it comes to the energy assistance, energy efficiency in Liberia? Because the reason why I asked, it seems as if that the government does not really know what to do. There are not policies put in place at the LEC, so maybe it's not being ran the better way it should be. The country has suffered so much with the energy thing. Is not even helping the country anymore because it has to do with education, it has to do with businesses. The economy is down because of this. So at this point in time, I'm looking at non-governmental organizations, playing addressing energy efficiency in Liberia. I'm not even thinking about this government doing anything as far. So I don't know if you know anything about that.
Well, I think there are several different NGOs and other people who come in and do things in that sector. I think one of the other great institutions that operates within this sector is the RREA, the Liberia Rural Renewables Energy Agency. So their responsibility is to build microgrids and renewable energy projects, be it hydro or solar type projects in the rural areas and bring those economies online, create jobs, provide opportunity. It's led by a great gentleman, great team there. I think they're doing some great work, but again, that's on the rural side. But I think your point to support your question and to answer your question, there is not a coherent. The last time I was on here, I made the point, until this leadership, this government of President Joseph Nima Boakai and Jeremiah Kuhn, until they get energy right, nothing progressive and transformational is going to happen within the 43,000 square miles of this country. And that means starting with the proper leadership with competence, knowledge, and understanding of the energy sector at the LEC. Jungle Power is operating as an asset management company. They're overseeing the assets on the cross-border grid out of Nimba. And LIB Energy is also operating the other cross-border grids out of La Côte d'Ivoire that comes from across from Grand Jide down into River G and also down into Plibo coming from San Pedro. But again, there's not a coherent, concise, clear strategy on energy so that electricity can be that transformational instrument that can stimulate growth, attract foreign investment, attract the diaspora, and move this country forward. It doesn't exist. It doesn't.
Okay, so did you vote Joseph Boakai as president, or who did you support?
I supported. I was the senior policy advisor for Robert Morris, who ran as an independent, and our platform was strictly electricity. Solve electricity, get the country right as a foundational issue, and then all of the different parts of government would be pillars: education, healthcare, so forth and so on, would be plugged into the energy foundation. So in the runoff, we did support the JNB JKK ticket, hoping that energy would be gotten right. They would address it, they would see it right, and they would move forward. But here it is, almost a year later, we're at the same place.
Okay, Fukano, welcome. Come on board. I sure you've been following the conversation. Talking about the energy sector in Liberia. So
you're on mute.
We're not hearing you. You gotta unmute. Fukano, we're not hearing you.
I think he's having.
He will come back.
He said he would come back. Yeah.
All right, Mr.
Can I ask you a question?
I was going to ask.
Sorry. Go ahead, everybody. Sorry.
Let me ask you now. You talk about Ghana. We have to come from Ghana, pass through Ivory Coast, to take electricity to Liberia, the power sharing or whatever. I don't know how it works. I don't know nothing much about it, but
it's okay. I'll explain it.
But what I'm saying is, how can that be possible? You owe Ivory Coast, you bypass them, then you go to Ghana and get another country and carry electricity. How possible is that?
But this is what they call, we who live in the US will call it a scam or scheme, and the Nigerians have a 3-digit number for it's called a 419. That's what this whole thing is. It's a scheme. It's a scam to create the image, to create the perception, to make people believe that something is being done. This, again, my point here is, I don't like to call names, but the leadership team at the LEC, they should be terminated immediately for gross insubordination. Let's look at it. Let me break this down. So the leadership team, along with the president, get on the plane and they fly to La Côte d'Ivoire. We all saw that. The president got there. He met with the Transco team. He met with Mohammed Sharif, that educated him, informed him about how Transco work, the interconnect from the CIE, bring the power on to the Transco grid. Transco, write this down. Transco charges 2.2 cents. Write it down. 2.2 cents. That's a fact. Transco charges 2.2 cents to move the power from Côte d'Ivoire into Liberia. 2.2 cents. Liberia buys the power from Côte d'Ivoire for 11 cents. 11 cents. Write that down. So 11 plus the 2.2 gives you a 13.2 cent cost. That's the cost. You're not generating. The power is delivered to you. Transco is not a company that generates. They're only just like the taxi you take from point A to point B. They just transport. Cote d'Ivoire is an oil and gas producer. So because they produce oil and gas, they have a lot of gas, and they have what we call a mixed or blended generation. They have natural gas turbines. They have multiple hydro power plants, hydro stations across the country. And now they're building solar farms. So that way they can blend their generation so they have alternatives to mitigate any challenges that they may have in the rainy season or in the dry season. That's what Liberia should be doing. So,
excuse me, can you hear me now? Is it good?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right, thank you.
So the power comes in at 13.2 cents. And I think the gentleman there talked about the 26 cents. So now let's take a number of 26. 22.2, right? 13.2 times 2. That's 26.4 cents. So that's 100% margin. That's a 100% bit margin, gross profit, separate from your operating costs. So even if your operating cost is 25, 30%, you're left with so much more profitability. You're not generating. All you're doing is you're just moving this power across. And everybody should be buying this power. Now, add your Mount Coffee hydropower dam that's generating in the rainy season. Your production, your generating cost is below 5 cents. So you should be making 3 times profit from Mount Coffee because your cost is low, but your profit is high. So how is it possible? Explain this to me. You and your boss goes to a meeting with Alassane Ouattara, your peer, and you say, look, Mr. President, I need your help. Bail me out. I know we owe you, but let's come to an agreement. Let's schedule the payments. We've got, an economy that we can't allow to crash. And we need, give us some room. So the guy said, okay, no problem. You're my brother from, you're my ECOWAS brother. We can cut it. You're my Mono River Union brother. Let's cut a deal. Okay, so I'll give you some leeway, but let's make the payments because energy is a major export for me. I've got energy commitments. It's a major revenue source for me. So the guy makes the agreement. Everybody signs. The LEC management signs. The president signs. And then they get on the plane and they come back. And then you get back in the country and you say, to hell with whatever was signed, and you don't pay the bill. The letter is clear. Look at the letter. They haven't paid the bill. $19 million. But everybody in Monrovia and all the connections have been buying their tokens. So the question now is, where did the money go? Where did the money go? The money is at the Ministry of Finance. Then you come and you write a letter asking the president to tell the Ministry of Finance to pay your bill. Where did the money go? Where did all of that money from March to today go? And Cote d'Ivoire wants to terminate the service of electricity to the country on the heels of dry season. So where did the money go? Where did the money go? That is the question. And that's gross insubordination, because if the leadership team did not carry out what was agreed by the president, I will use Mr. Sanvi's word, that's poor judgment. And he needs to just do the honorable thing and resign and leave. But he can't leave the country until he's audited, because all of that money has been siphoned out of the company. It's been siphoned out of the company. That's the reason why they can't pay the bill. Then now, like you're asking the question now, Dr. Peabody. So you owe Ivory Coast. Look at the map, Ben. Ivory Coast sits in between Liberia and Ghana. So you owe Ivory Coast, but you can't pay them, but you found money to go and buy power from Ghana. And you can't get the power from Ghana into Liberia unless you come through Ivory Coast. So explain that to me. Explain that to me. How will you get the power into Liberia when you owe Ivory Coast, but you got money to go and buy the power from Ghana? How is that supposed to work? That's the definition of incompetence.
Mr. Phillips,
can I?
Oh, Pew, go ahead. No, Pew, you.
So I know I lost my time, or
go ahead.
all right. I'd like to thank all of you for the opportunity, especially the host here tonight and the guest. Very important conversation. I followed from the moment I stepped in. I think the LEC has been a failed entity. Even when I was a small boy, to say now that I'm a grown man, we've never gotten it right. But what baffles me is that we have all of these rivers across our country, and I'm talking about massive rivers, the St. John, the Lofa River, the Kavala River, the Mano River, the St. Paul River, and you can go on to name all of these rivers, and we have never been able to utilize those rivers to generate electricity. At what point Liberia should now be looking to Ivory Coast for electricity? At what point? When we have enough to do better for ourselves. So I think the whole issue here is scrap LEC and just give it to someone private or some company private. Because what we find is that LEC has never been able to live up to the expectations of the Liberian people. Even with everything that's happening in the country, with Mary Broad now being the electricity security, it still doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change the fact. So now from your perspective, what can we do outside of LEC as a country?
Very good. Very good
What
point.
is the alternative?
Very good point. We have multiple alternatives. So as I mentioned, the LERC, you can go to the LERC. It's called the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission. The Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission. You can also research the Rural Energy, the Rural Alternative Energy Agency of Liberia, the RREA. So the first thing is this: hydropower indeed is part of alternative energy. Okay, it's the oldest form of alternative energy. You know, before solar, everything was hydro. Again, as I said earlier, one of the challenges that we've had as a people over the long, even over my years, Tomali and I, we were born and raised in Firestone. You look at Firestone, one of the first things that Harvey Firestone did when he came to the country to invest in the rubber business there. What did he do? He went on the Farmington River. He built a diversion, what we call a weir, okay? He built a wall to divert water from the Farmington River to build a mini hydro. It's about 10 megawatts. And he built that hydro. And what did he do on that hydro? He used it as the foundation for everything that operates in Harbel, from the hospitals, the schools, the central office, and most importantly, the factory, to process and add value to the rubber, to export it, not export it raw, but to export it, what they call TSR, technically specified rubber, to his number one friend, who was Henry Ford. That's why we grew up with a lot of Ford cars on the plantation. Why? Because Harvey Firestone and Henry Ford, they were friends and they had an agreement. I'll pay you in rubber and you give me cars. And that's why all the trucks were Fords and all the cars were Fords. So anything extra, we'll sell it. And that's what that was the relationship they had. And the sad thing is, we as a nation, as a people, never learned from that. To this day, as I'm on this program, the hydro continues to run. The first turbine was installed at Hydro, that what we call it there in Firestone, you know that, Tomali, in 1946. There's a plaque on the wall for the first hydro, the first turbine, 1926. We never learned. So hydropower is good power. The challenge with hydro is that it takes a longer time because you've got environmental impact, because you're going to be building a reservoir, you're going to have to move people, you're going to have to do flooding, and it takes a long time for the civil works and all of the logistics that involve in the project management. That's why today, more countries are investing in solar alternative energy. Even in the US, I work in the energy sector. One of the greatest challenges and transformation that's taking place in the sector is what they call high capacity utility batteries. This new technology is significantly being deployed across the US. Why? Because you can bring an additional 30, 50, or 100 megawatt capacity and deploy in under a year or 2 years to add or to augment power supply. And it's green power, it's clean power, it's just batteries in 40-foot containers. So if we could decentralize and put solar farms with the RREA and with LEC, with private capital in the counties, and then tie this to the grid and do power purchase agreements with those companies through the LEC, I don't see an issue with that. I think that's the best way, the only way, and the right way for we to move in as a nation. But the challenge is there is not a clear, concise, and strategic set of plans and policies to achieve that. That's why we find ourselves here today.
Pee-wee now. Pee-wee, you mute out.
Mr. I want to thank you, Ben. Mr. Wonderful, we evening to you, Mr. Philip. For me, I don't have question because I listened to most of your point, and I thought to provide some counter to some of the information you provided our audience. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, the process you said that LEC have done absolutely nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I would love to say to you, it's unfortunate that you even made the statement. Before the civil crisis, the LEC, all of the hydro, everything in our country was a zero line of distributing electricity to the people of Liberia. Today, we have 4 turbines in use. I mean, we have one problem with one now. 4 turbines is currently in use in this country today. 4 turbines is in use in our country today. After the devastating civil crisis, I just want to bring that to your attention. Another process that you talk about, the organic grain of LEC. And we, the policy people been backing the government. I think the LEC got a very structural organic grain. I have been praised by the U.S. government. We have the CEO. We have the COO. And we have the executive director of transmission. We have the executive director for distribution and the rest of that. And we also have an executive director of compliance. It's a structural process we have in terms of the organic grain of the LEC. We have all of those people that are in place. The last U.S. ambassador also praised the government of Liberia because, and Monique Captain, of the way LEC was managing most of the project. It didn't stop there, Mr. Philip. The World Bank also praised the LEC for own financial transparency, and the World Bank now committed to invest into 20 meters of solar project. The same solar thing you just spoke of. The World Bank is going to be investing in that, and the World Bank will contribute additional to construct additional 2 turbines that would take our maximum turbine to 6. 6. So one of the major things, you also spoke of the process of the CLLG line. Currently, the government of Liberia owes the CLLG line, I think, $7.1 million. It's not $19 million. It's not $19 million.
So are you saying that the letter that CIE people wrote is a lie?
It's not $19 million. It's $7.1 million. It's not $19 million. I just thought.
Look at it.
So we can.
Have you looked at the letter? No. I'm not going back and forth.
Another thing, you're coming to.
Okay, go ahead. I apologize.
Currently in the country, in recent time, we put almost 287,000 new connections in the country. And the meter that was distributed was given by the World Bank. No one is paying for meter in the Republic of Liberia now. The World Bank brought new meters and they're giving those meters to folks. So by that project, we increased our power grid by 287,000. And we are now paying 15 cents per kilowatt. 15 cents. It's not 26 cents. It's 15 cents. I currently still run my home from here. I put LEC on it. It's 15 cents per kilowatt. That is an obvious thing since the World Bank project came into place currently in the country. Now, with the CLLG process, the reason why the current CEO went to Accra recently is just to allow the process to beef that out this year, because during the dry season, we are now at full capacity in the country. We are now before the war. The rainy season we good because it's around 81 megawatts, something that distribution, something we're giving out. But during the dry season, we go very dry, so we needed to go some of those processes to move on. So the point I was trying to strike out to us is that to come out and say that LEC have done nothing. After everything was done, we're not getting current in Liberia before, after the war. Today we have 4 turbines in use. 4. You, the technician, you understand the area very well. I'm not an electrician or I'm not an engineer in the area, but I'm a policy guy that follow those areas.
Okay.
Right? So 4 tall bands currently in use. We're working with the World Bank to beef that up to 6 tall bands. I thought, and I would agree with all of us today that we have some issue in our legislative process, but to already condemn it and say that it's used for money laundering when the U.S. government is pumping money and the U.S. government praised the system. And the World Bank is praising the system that they got a very wonderful financial accounting system, and they commended the LEC management. They are going to increase the solar project by 20 meters. Solar project are coming up very soon with additional 2 tall band to take our level of capacity to 6 tall band that will eventually put close to 500,000 people in our country on the process of what is unfolding. So I just thought to bring those things to your attention of what we're saying about the LEC process.
Mr. Phillips, please, quickly. My brother, when did you say that they were giving meters free? Because I just paid for meters in Liberia.
If you pay for meters, you didn't go through the system. They've been giving meters free for the past from last year, November. The probably going. I can't remember 1 minute. There's those communities, Dixville, part of Carware, part of Keba, the part of Painesville. All those area folks that are living there, if you want to pay for meter, you didn't want to go through the system. That's why you pay for meter. You pay for meter because you did not want to go through the system. If you went through the system, they will distribute the meters, bring the meter.
How is going through the system? Please explain that, because it's
something. The system is to go to contact LEC, go to LEC commercial office, register your home, and say, okay, which are the communities? Because they have 6 new communities. Broadway.
This is the GSA Road, Painesville.
Yeah, I come. GSA Road, Painesville were not. They were the first group of people that were already on.
Very good. Now you got it. Okay. So let me.
I come in 1 minute. We have the Barnesdale area, Sioux Patrick, Garnansdale, Dixville, Carware, the Kebasa, Johnsonville, moving towards Mount Barclay, the new road are hitting towards Mount Barclay. All of those areas, including the FDA community, the New Jerusalem FDA community, all the areas extending, going towards the Duper Road and other parts that were not extended. Part of the new extension process is also going towards the RIA Highway, right? And all those areas. They were distributing meters. Folks, those meters were given by the World Bank, and those meters are not meters that you can even steal again, right? Because the meter is designed in a way that it cannot be, when it's stolen, it cannot be used by Paul if it is owned by Peter, right? So it's part of the process that they brought in that was sponsored by the World Bank, and the LEC have been doing exponentially very well with those things in terms of the distribution, and those that will increase on the power grid in our country. It increased that of folks, and a lot of communities got elected. And today, those communities are beaming with current and consistent in terms of the issue of distribution of power. So I thought to just provide some of these things up to us.
Very good point. So let me unpack that. Okay, let's unpack it one at a time. Let's unpack everything that you put on that you brought on in the Suki. Let's unpack them one at a time. Number one, I never said in any way, shape, or form that the LEC did not do anything. I said the LEC has not.
From the beginning, you said it. Go to the recording. You said it, Chief.
Okay.
Yeah, you said it.
We're not arguing. Okay.
Yes.
So let's look at what the LEC has done. You just talked about increased capacity, right? What you just spoke about is that you have 4 turbines running. Each turbine runs at about 25 megawatts, 4 times 25 times 100 megawatts. So what you've done now, what you just explained about adding more meters, what you've done is you've increased your demand. You've increased demand on the grid, but what have you done with generation capacity? You haven't increased generation capacity. So you've increased the demand, the number of people you've connected on the grid who are demanding power. But what have you done? In your own words, you are going to bring in 2 turbines. 2 turbines, you don't buy them off the shelf on Amazon and put them on the boat and ship them. The average, that turbine at the Mount Coffee Dam was going to take deliveries at least a minimum of 2 years. It's a minimum of 2 years. There are no more slots.
But it's in progress.
Hang on. I'm not saying it is not progress. You confirm that I'm the engineer. I'm the engineer, and you say you're the policy guy. Okay. So let's look at the policy now. So you're the policy guy. So you're advocating, and your only vindication is that the U.S. government or the World Bank or the U.S. ambassador or whatever give you a stamp of confirmation. No, what you need to understand is the U.S. ambassador is not an engineer. If you talk about the financial process, okay, let's talk about financial process. Why can't they pay the bill? Why can't they pay the bill if you are saying on the program tonight that the process?
Okay, quickly, another issue why the bill cannot be paid.
Hang on, let us. No.
Just a minute. Just a minute, Chief.
Let the man speak. Let the man speak.
Yeah, no, I know you're speaking. I just want to get to this point.
No. That's not how we work. That's not how we
let the man speak.
You tend to honor. You won't make that.
Let the man finish, Sylvester.
Let me finish. You went first. I did not interrupt you. I let you finish. Let me unpack everything that you put on the table. You said that you were vindicated. This process was vindicated. You said that the U.S. ambassador praised you. I don't disagree. Let's look at the work that was done at the Mount Coffee Hydro. What was the change? What was the change at the Mount Coffee Hydro? I'm an engineer. You started off with a damaged hydropower plant that didn't have a reservoir. And what did you end up with after $400 million? You ended up with another hydro, 4 turbines, and what? No reservoir. So where's the improvement?
But Mr. Philip, Mr. Philip, is that the response? Is that the fault of this current leadership?
No, it's the fault of the leadership that oversaw that project.
That project, okay.
That's exactly right. But what my point I'm driving home is, he wants to make. My point here is this: you've got to understand the process. You're adding more demand, but you're not increasing your generation capacity. So what you're going to end up with is, in the dry season, you're going to have so many people on the grid and you don't even have enough power to supply them. But then those who are buying the electricity, the question now becomes, where is the money going? If the money was properly accounted for, then I will agree with you that you buy additional capacity from La Côte d'Ivoire to augment, right, your dry season low water at the Mount Coffee Dam. Adding 2 more turbines, do you know how many years it would take to rebuild and expand the hydro? You're talking at a minimum of 3 years, depending on the size of those turbines and how much, what are you going to build a reservoir? The fastest thing you can do as a nation to solve your energy issue is high capacity storage and utility batteries and solar farms. To talk about you're making it appear that the World Bank is the savior for Liberia. No, that's the wrong approach. Private capital is where we need to focus on, because private capital works faster and private capital is for profit. So that way the system becomes more efficient.
But Mr. Phillips, can I ask a question? Quick interjection.
Yeah.
You heavily praise the chairman of the board. How long has he been chair of this board?
I would say within about 3 to 4 months.
So he's been about 3 or 4 months. You seem to praise him, but you have a problem with the Muni Captain leadership, right? I'm trying to figure out all of what you're talking about, right? When you talk about private capital, all of what, because listen, I'm not, and that's why I've been a little quiet, because I haven't really sunk my teeth into this sector. That's probably maybe Pee Wee has. That's why he probably came on with some of the information. But I did see on Mr. Captain's Facebook page the other day that they had just concluded discussions for a new hydroelectric plant, right, upstream for the St. Paul River, right? Something which my brother Volcano was talking about, that there are rivers, and you also talk about solar panels. So PD's point, don't you think it's a little unfair when you say, well, you know, they haven't done nothing, there's money laundering, and and even the issue of the Ivory Coast thing, are you saying here that they have abandoned that debt and they're not making any arrangements to pay that debt, and they're trying to bypass to go to Ghana? I'm trying to correlate, because I want to believe the ECOWAS region, they all work in unison. So
that's exactly right.
I don't know how that's going to work, right?
That very good point. That's why this is a question. This is not my letter. This letter came from CIE. It was in front. It's on Front Page Africa. If you go to Front Page Africa, you will see the letter there. The letter comes from CIE, the Cote d'Ivoire Electric Utility, and they itemized the bill. I'm looking at the letter right here.
Well, no, we know that we have a bill. We know we have a
Very
bill.
good.
But do you
why
know?
They can't pay the bill if they're collecting money?
But
Why they can't pay
This
the
is
bill?
my point.
But no, I agree. Listen. That's water under the bridge. We owe.
No, it's not, because if you can't pay your bill, even if you don't need capacity, how are you going to sustain it?
I want us to look forward, right? So,
Okay.
do we know?
Change the management and corrupt.
Do we not know if there is any arrangements being made to pay this bill? Are we saying that none of that has happened?
The point here is this.
Do you know the chairman of the board, Mr. Phillips? Do you know him?
I know the chairman of the board. Yeah.
Can you inquire from him what they're doing? Because I'm trying to understand how because you seem to have explicit confidence in Thule. You think Thule has what it takes to leapfrog and take us to where we want to go. Am I correct? You believe so, right?
What I said was Emmanuel Thule, Councilor Emmanuel Thule, is a graduate, right, of energy law from the University of Houston. And in that energy law degree, you are taught, you are educated, you are informed, right? You are enlightened on the issue of how to run utilities, okay? To write power purchase agreements, to manage those type of companies.
No, but you praised him. You said
yes,
that
he's
capable. You think that after appointing him. So in my mind, you think he is competent and he's fit for the job. My question is,
as the chairman, hang on, Ben, as the chairman of the board that oversees. So the current CEO is supposed to report to who?
To him.
He's supposed to. That's exactly right.
Are you saying he's not doing that?
Now you got my point.
So are you saying he's not doing that?
That's where the conflict is within the entity. And that's where you have that's where you have the conflict.
Is this what Thule is alleging? That his CEO is not reporting to him?
You can see all of the optics. You mentioned that we use the word optics when we're talking about the first topic on the issue. Very good. Yeah. So you can see the optics of all of those things that are done, because there are meetings where I follow the industry, I follow the sector very, very closely. Very closely. Why? Because that's what I do.
I don't want to seem like I'm cutting you off, because I know we don't have a lot of time. The reason I'm digging in, because I want us to, we're looking for solutions, right? I think this is a great conversation. I mean, I'm saying this because, first of all, I want to believe, why is Mr. Thule, well, I haven't heard him complain. Clearly, it may be an assumption of yours. Maybe, like you say, looking at the optics, maybe you're saying those things. But I want to know, right? I want to know if Mr. Thule, if he doesn't feel he has confidence in his current leadership as the board chair. Board chair has a lot of power, right?
That's exactly right.
Appointed by the president of Liberia.
By the president of Liberia.
He made representation to the president of Liberia that he's not getting cooperation. And why has the president kept Moni Captain if he is this incompetent? Or if he because you clearly stated that the leadership is incompetent.
Because again, don't forget that the current leadership employed himself. He employed himself as the chief consultant, wrote a contract for himself, with himself, signed it, set his own salary, and got the board that was there under the previous administration.
Are you saying the president can fire him? Is he
because he has a contract.
Mr. Philip, before you continue, Ben, Mr. Philip, let me say this.
He has a contract.
It's very clear.
Mr. Captain, one minute, Mr. Captain leadership, and that part of the reason what I was saying when I listened to you first and foremost, I knew there was something beyond this process. Because you first came and just condemned the entire entity. And that's
yes, it needs to be condemned.
1 minute, please. 1 minute. The whole thing is about Mr. Captain Rowe personally, right? I've been knowing him. I don't have knowing personally. I'm knowing when he served as professor of political science. I'm a student professor of political science.
No wonder.
I respect him a lot. I'm coming home.
Alex, stop, my man.
Yeah, but the man has already spoken. Let him give people a chance. You want to know his relationship with Money Captain? He already spoken.
The LEC.
There's
a man that operated the LEC.
There's a dialogue going on here. Let him speak.
There's a man that operated the LEC effectively and brought to bear most of the efficient policy positions on the LEC there. When the current president met with him, I do understand your friend that is carrying the ball now, got some issue with him. He tried to say some incorrect situation about what is unfolding at the LEC. Let me tell you one of the reasons why the bills, they name the money. There are a lot of government institutions that are not even paying that bill. Do you know what Mr. Qatar and his team trying to do now? They're trying to bring the prepaid meters to help enforce government officials or government institutions pay bills. That's why LEC has not been paid collecting the money effectively. Power theft has been significantly impacting LEC function. So if you got major policy individual put into place strategic policy to impact positively institutions, we need to hire those kind of people continuously. We need to praise them. We don't need to bring them down in terms of brandly criticizing them. Mr. Katan and his team, and that's a first and foremost, you said there was no organic grant there. And I went on to tell you there's a CEO, there's a COO, there's an executive director for transmission, executive director for distribution, executive director for compliance and general services. That's a wonderful structure that is in place to help us move on. So I don't want to believe that something is coming that is not happening in the bill. And you talk about reservoir. There is what we call the run-on river reservoir. They added to this hydro. We do have a run-on river reservoir. You, the engineers, should understand this process.
And how is the run-on? And how is the run-on river reservoir?
Helping us.
How is helping you with what capacity? With what capacity?
No,
one turbine, right?
I mean, not be doing exactly take the municipality, but you just said a run reservoir. I'm trying to say it's a run-on reservoir.
But then, if you have not been trained technically on it, then why are you speaking with such authority on it?
I'm speaking. Exactly. No, I'm not being trained technically, but I've just noticed that you didn't misinform us in 90% of your.
Well, how would you know if you don't have the experience? You're not an engineer.
My point. You're not a
contradicting yourself. But Chuchu, how do you know he's saying the truth if you are not an engineer?
Because I'm looking at it from a financial
point,
and I went hold on here. I'm speaking
on
the managing director of performance. I also have an engineering degree.
Let me come in.
I will follow the show from. I'm dropping my daughter to her dance class. I will follow the show.
Okay, please do.
LEC's challenge. LEC's
Grace will defend me. Grace will guide my defend one.
I'm enjoying the conversation. So
I will still follow. I will follow my car. I will follow.
Yeah. LEC's challenges are mostly financial and not technical. Okay.
That's why I came in, Ben.
The financial, that's exactly right. So if there was proper accounting, you made the point, right? Where are the financial records, right? Mm-hmm. You made that point. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, I did. I asked. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And this is the crux of the issue. This is the crux of the issue. Where is the money going? If you are generating power and you are selling power and you're selling equipment, there was a big fanfare about the connection of cement to the grid. You've got all of these customers on the grid. Okay, everybody's paying their bill. The question now becomes, where is the money going? Because the money is not reported to government. Keep that in mind.
Wait, you saying the money? You say LEC money has not been reported to the national government?
Pull up the national.
The budget agency. So the government is not depositing their revenue.
That's exactly right.
Okay. So you're
trying to help you guys here, but you're just jumping around the place.
All of the money that LEC is generating, where is it going?
They're stealing it.
How do you say they're stealing it? I'm like,
because a good question.
Alex, what is the problem with you? Statements like that,
isn't it? Okay, Mr. President, give me 1 minute, please. Let me respond. I'm saying it is stealing it. Let me tell you how they're stealing it. Okay, when you generate millions of dollars, okay, from people paying their electricity bill. You don't give no financial statement. You pay yourself $20,000 a month. You write your own contract. There's no transparency. So where should any educated person think that the money that the people paying
so my question to both of you.
Yeah.
The management has been doing all of it, and you telling me that the management is a country or entity by itself, not accountable to nobody?
It's an autonomous agency.
That's exactly right.
They operate. Hold on here now. That's what we're trying to educate you guys. Just listen. LEC is an autonomous agency with their own board of directors. Okay? The board of directors is supposed to make sure that the management are accountable, that they release the annual statement. If you go right now, I put in the chat room, Ghana Electricity Power. Listen very carefully. I can go to Ghana Electricity Power right now. I can see how much they make every year, how much they spend on purchase. Hold on.
No, Alex, that procedural thing we're talking, and I agree with you.
Let me finish because
Alex, I beg you. Alex, that procedural thing you're talking, I agree with you. They should make the financial.
Okay,
public.
so when I say
the reason I'm raising this issue because I also am receiving information that LEC, the money that you guys are talking about. First of all, the Liberian government is the biggest debtor to LEC. That's the first thing.
And so the LEC needs to come out.
The Liberian government is the biggest debtor to LEC. The Liberian government don't pay their bills. There's an issue
so
of
the LEC.
I'm not saying LEC is not generating any money. I'm not going to defend LEC. I don't know anything about their financials and stuff like that. But the reason I'm finding this hard to believe, right? I'm finding it hard to believe that how can LEC be a semi-autonomous agency generating resources and somebody, for some reason, the money is just evaporating and they're not able to pay the bill. Two things are happening here. It's either, like you are saying, huge financial corruption is going on, or they're not generating the resources that we think they're generating to be able to pay the bills.
But in our case, Ben, listen, and I know Mr. Phillips is a diplomatic man, a respectable man, so he doesn't want to coordinate. Money Captain is useless. He's been there from 2015, okay? If Alex, you cannot account, listen to me. I'm an ex. Listen to me very carefully, and then let listen to me.
Alex, my question
you see, you keep interrupting. You keep interrupting. Yeah, you keep interrupting. Maybe you won't cover. Let me finish. You ask a question. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Because when people talking, you don't interrupt him.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say it to the people. Money Captain is very ineffective as a manager. He's very corrupt as a manager. The fact that you've been there since 2015, I think, and there isn't one financial statement available to the public. That tells you that you don't know what you're doing. Two, you're corrupt, because if you're not corrupt, in the LEC charter, which I read, you are supposed to produce a financial statement. In the Liberian law, every entity, every autonomous agency is supposed to produce an annual financial statement. If you haven't done that,
then that brings me to my point. Every autonomous agency is like a public corporation, right? They are answerable to a board. They are answerable to a board. If your board doesn't believe, it's like this country. It's like public companies in this country. If the CEO is not performing, the board can fire the CEO. Am I right or wrong?
But if they're all in cahoots. Like I would give you. Listen, let me educate you on something.
But
Ben, if I'm not finished, hold on. Let me educate you, Red. Well, here's the problem, Mr. Phillips. If you go to LEC board of directors, with the exception of Emmanuel Tule, okay?
Why are you taking Emmanuel Tule?
It's the minister of Lands, Mines, and Energy. The other one is they say Brahma Kamara, who resigned a few months ago.
You see, this is the problem I have with Alex.
Okay.
How do you take the chairman out of it?
Because he just took the position. He been
there for 3 months. So where are the financial statements for 3 months, Alex?
Listen, Ben, you got to let people talk.
But where are the financial statements for 3 months?
When you're speaking, I listen. Let me talk. I'm not going to hold somebody who just got a position for 3 months. I'm going to give him at least 3 months, 4 months. Give him a chance as the chairman. Okay? But the managing director has been there for over 5 years. So if he doesn't perform now, okay.
In fact, the chairman, let me eject quickly. In fact, the chairman of the board is in his probationary period.
Exactly.
What does it mean he's not working? But doesn't
It
mean
means
financial
so are
statement.
you guys
listen to me.
saying? Listen,
Financial statement.
I don't
Then the thing
dispute.
about
I'm
it,
not.
the
I'm
thing-
not.
the
I'm
thing
not
about it,
disputing
black people
yet.
are not gonna
I
learn
am not
because of that.
disputing yet. I hear
If you don't
I
know
will
something,
have-
if you don't know something, and somebody is speaking on it, just how you get
Alex,
you have the expertise. You have
Alex,
the
this is
expertise.
not
When
Alex.
you're
I know
speaking-
you to be no energy expert, so don't go there.
But I'm a financial
I
expert.
don't know
I'm
you
a
to be
financial
energy
expert.
expert.
And whether
But
you
then
know
look
or
at it
not,
from a financial
whether you know
perspective.
or not,
Then,
it doesn't
I
matter
asked
to
a
me.
simple
But
But
hear him out.
let me speak. When I finish
Just
speaking,
hear
when
him
I do
out.
1 minute, but you can't get people change. You and Pee Wee.
My man, go ahead, man. But,
Thank you very much.
You just want to tell everybody they're useless. That the problem I get with
No,
you.
not everybody.
You,
When
you say
somebody
everybody
takes a
useless,
position,
but too
when
late
somebody,
on
when somebody,
probation.
you see again, you filibustering.
How can everybody
Because
be
you don't
useless
wanna
but
hear
too
the
late on probation?
Mr. Phillips, like I say, I would say to you, Mr. Phillips, there's certain people in Liberia, don't waste your time explaining anything to them. You see the stupid dishes, you see the sound of the swines, don't waste your time behind them. There are a lot of educated Liberian people, including on this platform, that you can say constructive, intelligent things to, they will buy it. But the one who, the only reason people talking here because he wants to support the we administration. I was there for 6 years.
This is why I interrupt him.
5 years.
Okay. The man is not yet.
They hired a corrupt money captain, man.
But the man is not yet.
The man went even. I listened to a confirmation hearing. I listened to every word he said. Just the way how I was talking about the increase in, I was talking about the increase in prices here, right? Yeah, the gas prices here. Yeah, the front page Africa from article from September 12, right? Yeah, it said the Minister of Commerce on Monday announced a new increased prices in petroleum in the following. The thing is in the newspaper, black and white. But these people, the superstition and the son of a swine,
Alex,
they will never gonna get it. I don't waste my time.
Sylvester, if you're driving, I suggest you pull over.
Alex,
I'm not driving, Lofa. I'm not driving. I'm okay. I'm not driving.
Alex Jones. First of all,
I just parking outside.
Mr. Phillips. In fact, I asked Mr. Phillips. This is not Mr. Phillips' first time on this show. He was here the last time. We had a fascinating conversation. The reason I asked him about a 100-day plan was because I feel like, he has a lot of ideas, right? And how can we move the needle rather than us just, talking about this and talking about this?
He already said that.
He even said that he believes Mr. Tule is the right person. He's qualified and stuff like that. But you, Alex Jones, going around stupid decisions, there are other decisions. They are Liberians, Alex. They are Liberians. They are Liberians, and they are entitled to their opinions like
and
you
let
are.
Come and give the opinion, and let me give my opinion.
Don't be insulting people.
Alex, you have no opinion in this place. Alex, you have no opinion. You are weakly. Alex, don't go there. Alex, don't go there. You don't have even no financial. You're not even a good bookkeeper.
Thank you. You're not even understand about talk. So I don't.
But who moves them, man?
The superstition people there, wherever you tell them that they ought to know that it's like going to school. Why are you owing $19 million? Why you can't put power on?
Oh, now, who did this? Listen, I know it can be too many. It can be. Lofa, you did this?
Then you see that progress.
If you want to ask that question again, Lofa, don't.
No, I'm asking. I said you did this?
No, don't do that.
I'm just asking.
Since I came here, I've been quiet. No, I didn't do it. I wouldn't do that to you, bro.
Yeah, because we are.
No, you guys are engaging each other. I did nothing. To be honest,
let's get back to the meat of the show.
I did nothing.
Let's get back to the meat. Let's get back to the substance of the show. Let's get Mr. Phillips to come back.
Ben, take control of the show, Ben. Come on now.
No, but let's get Mr. Phillips to come back and get to the substance of the show. We're not going to. We're not going to
get no engineering degree.
We're not going to fall for Alex. We're not going to fall for Alex antics. Mr. Phillips, can you please come in, please?
So, but Ben, can I just chime in here real quick though? The last time Mr. Phillips was on this platform, I think he was actually much more concerned about the technical aspect of things. Okay. And now I'm hearing us now attempting to address it from the financial point. I'm a little confused as to how did things just change overnight. Now we are addressing it from the financial aspect as compared to the technical aspect of things. I would really like for him to address that. I want to get some better understanding of that part of it.
Okay, can I speak now?
And hopefully,
Mr.
Mr.
Philip
Philip will
now
come
here?
in. Yeah, Grace, you can come in, please.
So Mr. Philip has the right to, maybe the last show he wanted to do the technical, and then this show he wants to do the reason why the technical is not working because the financial is not working. Maybe that where he comes from. But if Money Captain listening to me, I would tell him that there's a guy named Benjamin Snetter. He's an expert in energy efficiency. So maybe he needs to tap into these people. He's a Liberian. This man, they're very good in America. Yeah, his name is in the news for energy. So I don't understand how all these people are available to help, and Liberia still struggling. As you know, listening to Mr. Phillips, who is the engineer, Liberia is still struggling in this department. So I will hope that he tap into people like Mr. Phillips and people like Benjamin Snatter to be able to come and help Liberia, because I don't think electricity efficiency is hard to do when it comes to Liberia. They just not wanting to do the right thing, or maybe they don't know what they're doing. That's why I feel about.
I thought you were saying Benjamin Saint-Vial. When it's
No,
Benjamin Snatter. He helped to build that machine that can scan people.
Okay.
Yeah, he helped to build it. He wanted to
Lofa, let me chime in on the point.
Yeah.
Let me chime in on the point that you mentioned about the financials and the technical. Okay. So the technical operations of the company, right? From the turbine generation to the transmission infrastructure, the interconnect to Cote d'Ivoire, the distribution lines to cities, towns, metering, and everything else. There's an operating cost that goes along with that. And how do you cover that cost, including the administrative costs, which are the salaries for all your engineers, your finance department, your commercial department, and everything else? You get that revenue to cover that cost in your budget from the sale of what you generate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the business of energy, right? So right. You because you are providing an essential product by means of a service to an economy. And to keep that economy going, people buy that energy by way of the service, and they use that energy to produce goods and services to generate revenue and profitability. So it's a win-win for everybody. But the problem comes, the bottleneck comes in this whole system when the revenue collection aspect of the power company is called into question. Because if you cannot collect the revenue, one, fully account for the revenue, two, and properly apply the revenue to where it needs to be applied to keep this process going, then you have a breakdown. Then the breakdown comes where you have power outages. Then the breakdown comes where you're buying the power, and you can't pay the bill because what people are misapplying the money. They're paying themselves. They're signing contracts with themselves. The other gentleman who left earlier to go and take his daughter to a recital class, he talked about on the organic.
I'm here. You don't have to recite that. Just go ahead on the expert opinion.
I'm taking the point that you made.
No, but it seems to be that you start discussing the expert issue. You want to go back to that line. Go back. I'm here.
No.
Go back to that.
The reason I brought up the organogram matter is because you explicitly and eloquently identified a person in that organogram called the compliance officer, right? So what role did the compliance officer play in highlighting or flagging one person creating a job position in the paper, applying for the job, hiring himself, and signing the contract with himself? So was the compliance officer complicit in this, or was he quiet, or he was not there to see it happening? So what part of compliance did that meet? I mean, was that compliant to LEC rules and laws?
So, Mr. Philip, can I ask you, is Money Captain the problem at LEC? Straight, direct to you.
Yes, he's the head.
Yeah, Alex Jones. I'm asking the guest. Let the man answer his question. Yeah, my man. Mr. Phillips, is Money Captain the problem at LEC?
I don't like to personalize things. I would define it like this. I'm a professional.
Follow Alex. Alex, he can just tell you.
I'm a very professional person. I believe that he's a good person. Okay. I think he's a good husband, good father, but he has very poor judgment and he's way in over his head. Because again, you can only judge something based on the results. I'm going by the results. They had a meeting today. There was a meeting today at the executive manager on the energy.
You seem to be very informed about the happenings at LEC.
Barry, now that he's informed, he got the chairman of the board, who of course is his brother, but he's trying to push to be the head of LEC against one. So this is mischief. This is mischief at a higher level here. He got him front. He just admitted.
And so what's wrong with that?
He got this is mischief. That's the problem. This is mischief. It's not that he's trying to express some issue here, right?
And he's trying to push somebody that he believes will manage the company better.
Well, first of all, guys.
That's it.
Let's stop.
That's not the conversation.
No. I'm not attacking. I'm just trying to say something here. I was talking about, for instance, the compliance issue. Let's talk about the compliance issue a little bit.
Wait, Mr. Peter.
No, let him go back to what he was saying.
Pee-wee, he's your guest.
Okay,
he's your guest.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Can you go
So
ahead?
I was asked a question.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he's, I don't think he has any bad intentions. I think the challenge here is that he's taking advantage of a situation where he's been placed in, where a lot of people don't understand the industry, and he's exploiting it. Okay? He's exploiting the situation. And I'll prove it to you. Let me prove it to you. How is it possible that you can go somewhere with your boss, make an agreement with his peer, and come back and don't pay the bill based on what your boss agreed with his peer? And you collect the money. There was a notification that came out. Look on the LEC website that the billing platform that everybody buys tariffs of tokens with was not working. So there's a confirmation that there's a billing portal that everybody buys. Everybody uses to buy tokens. So where's the money going? The financial aspect of the power company is the most important aspect. Why? Because the revenue keeps the company going. It keeps the company going. I don't think he's a bad person. I just think he's way in over his head. He's not an engineer. He doesn't understand the energy business. What he has is a very good vocabulary, and his work his previous work in the diplomatic corps as the former foreign minister of Liberia has allowed him to use this expertise to manipulate, to influence, and to excite the donor community.
My last point on this, and then Tommy can take his show. Okay. My last point on this. What I'm hearing from you here is, first of all, I believe that Money Captain, even if he has a contract, there is possibly a clause in that contract. Money Captain is not hired at LEC indefinitely. Like, he can't just, Money Captain cannot take $1 million from LEC and still be what, you know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say here is the president of Liberia, is the buck stops with him on this, right?
Agreed.
I'm finding it hard to believe that presidents after presidents, successive presidents.
Exactly right. That's right? Exactly right.
And you say, Mr. Captain, he must have something of a superpower for him to continue to enjoy the confidence of these successive presidents. And are you saying that there's something that the president is not aware of? The board is not aware. There must be some magic to Money Captain that he has been able to, according to what you were saying, bamboozle his way through 2 or 3 presidents, as far as I'm concerned at this point. That's where my challenge is coming from.
And right now, the contract ends, I believe, within the next 45 to 60 days. His contract ends. So
Okay.
I mean that is public knowledge. That is not an inside thing. Everybody knows it. His contract ends within the next 45 to 60 days. There's an audit that's ongoing at LEC. And the findings of that audit will be in a way that will even both his contract and the COO contract comes to an end within the next 45 to 60 days.
In the next 40 days, right? So if
you're offered the CEO position, will you take it? No, I will not.
You will not?
No, I will
Are you
not.
if the contract ends, if President Joe Boca calls you and offer you the CEO position, you wouldn't take it?
I will not take it. I would prefer to be an advisor to the president on energy or lend. As I've always said, okay. I am a private sector person. I prefer to remain in the private sector, to invest in energy and bring investors into the energy sector, because I believe that energy is the transformational force that can transform our country and move our country forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, quickly, let me just make a point back to the point I was making about the organic grant. You talk about the compliant person. Now, what I know about the institution, and it's clear here, is out of process that they've been very much compliant in terms of the leadership structure. And part of the reason, if I were to pivot a little bit, Mr. Captain, as you said, of course, he served as Foreign Minister of the Republic, but it was through the kind of a work he carried out before. Even our first ever compact we got, almost $400 million.
He was the head of the MCC.
Was through the process when he worked towards doing some of those things. So he kind of impeccable record, very impeccable record, and with serious integrity here. This is a man I've never interacted with personally, right? But the process that his role he played in terms of impacting knowledge at the University of Liberia, he stands for integrity. In terms of helping us at the level of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, when our country was referred to as a pariah state, you are part of the individual that roll out, trying to bring us back to the Committee of Nations. He played a major role for us to get our first compact. Even the former Finance Minister Samuel Tua worked with him at the time when Amara Koren was Minister of Finance. These are the kind of individual folks we want to listen to. I can recall when I served as Assistant Minister in the past government, when I came with the Foreign Minister in Washington, D.C., they mentioned, referred to him as one of the individual that got huge integrity, that is doing extremely well to transforming our energy sector. That's one of the reasons why I took more time and research on this. Now, I may not be the engineer here, but what we do, we merge ourselves with different sectors area to understand the various sectors. So we want to speak to it in terms of policy process. And that's why I took time to understand the LEC sector. So when I listened to you first, Mr. Phillips, said nothing happened. That's why I said no. I didn't want to talk much today. Nothing happened. I said no. When I listened to you say there's no organic grant, I said no. There's structure. I applied to the LEC before me. I went through the system. The system do work at the LEC. And this man is serving as the head, the CEO, but he's not a kind of a dictatorial element that is trying to do everything to usurp the function of others. He's not usurping function of other individuals. He allowing the policy process to flow.
Okay.
He allowing the policy process to flow.
Mr. Phillips,
few seconds.
1 minute, guys. So as we,
you're not interrupting him.
I finished.
Before Mr. Phillips,
the men are asking people. The men are asking people.
Guys, 1 minute, right? 1 minute now. Because we have other time. So what happened? Somebody want to just weigh in the person on the phone, and then Mr. Phillips will do his closing.
Yeah.
And people are not breaking news before the show ends. So breaking news there. But anyway,
yeah, please, man. I'm the guest here. At least for once. Quick. Ben.
2 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go on.
Who's that, Tommy? But who's that?
I can't get one way in.
My man, Caribou, you stop me on show for Caribou.
Ben, why would you do that? What do you mean? Ben, it's Caribou not a person.
There's a panelist on the show.
Ben, don't do that. Don't do that.
The man was not on the show. He can come on the men's panelist.
You're going to short break. You want to get on your short break. Then you give 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So I just want to strike this point. There is no panelist here There's no Liberian here that will not agree with the operational challenge at AEC, with the corruption and dysfunction and inefficiency in AEC. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Look, when the system is not working, the boss start with the CEO of that company. The point that he made about money captain cannot bamboozle himself, through President Sali, to President Weah, and to now President Bouaka, it's a valid point. But I also want to point out that in a very corrupt country like Liberia, anything is possible. A clear example is the guy, LTA. LTA was under President Salih, and he continued to President Weah, and later his term expired. But look at all the reports on him. Weah was still doing business with him. Weah government was still doing business with him. Now he's with Bouaka, the same man. So in a country like Liberia, anything is possible. That's all I can say. So I just want to restrict that point. So money captain being the favor of successive government does not indicate the fact that he's efficient. No, it would just mean that a compromised society like Liberia, he just got a correct network. That's all.
Okay, let's fucking weigh in and can I do his closing?
Yeah, and the brother, I think the name is Peter. I can see it from here. Pee-wee. Okay, Pee-wee. Pee-wee, you said here that no one in Liberia buying meters. And you said because people are not going through the process. What is the process? When the very LEC, after you pay your money, can get anything in time. Let's not. You're talking to a consumer. I'm a consumer, first-hand consumer. So let's be frank here. Then you started to itemize the areas that now where the World Bank is giving meter, but you said emphatically that nobody is purchasing meter. When I said I just purchased meter,
I didn't say nobody. I said those are purchasing meter. Don't want to go through the system.
You said we must go back.
No. I said those that are buying meter, they want to bypass the system. They want to bypass the system. That's what I said.
So how do you bypass?
If you went through the system, you may be a huge consumer that want to bypass the system. You will buy a meter. That's the process here. And then the problem of that, even those huge consumers and the rest of that, when you want to go through the system,
I want to understand something. How do you buy meter from outside source to get the energy when you're supposed to be charging the meter with a card that is supposed to be registered on an LEC? Because this is what they're telling me.
Yeah, the process is that you go to the commercial office first and foremost. If there's a business or your home, and you do the deregistration. In 2 weeks' time, they're going to get to you and bring the meter and install the meter. That's the process. You have to go to the commercial office.
But the office is saying $150 for the meter. Are you not aware that people are paying $150? No. My question is, are you not aware that people are paying $150 for the meter?
If those that are paying $150 for the meter, they don't want to go through the system and wait for the wait time. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying that's
is there like those that that's it?
So Pee-wee, you're saying there's a system for free meters?
There's a system. The World Bank introduced a system. Call the public relation officer. There's a system, Ben. There is a system. Mr. Philip knows about that.
All right, let me come in.
Let me explain. Let me explain what it is.
Look, Mr. Philip, you come to explain. Let me understand what he said. Are you telling me that my wait period for 3 to 4 months before I can get a free meter, but the same LEC can sell it to me the same day to expedite my coming of the electricity to my house for $150? Is that what I'm understanding, gentlemen?
No, I come quickly. Here's what I'm putting in the country.
I'm coming now. You say if I went through the right process, I have a wait time. But the same LEC office is telling me say $150 for the meter. When I buy the meter, then it comes. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, what I'm forwarding. I think they also rest in peace. Famata Salif just passed. Normally, she said something last time I already captured when I was in Monrovia. Now, we do have unscrupulous, not have other contractors. We do have unscrupulous elements that are still around the system that people will steal meter and sell meter also. LEC have warned on that. LEC have warned folks from desisting from purchasing meter from unscrupulous element. Go to the office. But you know our system, and that's one thing about us. We don't love to go through the system in Liberia, and it's a systemic problem we have, my brother. If you went through the system and then went by the system, you'll get your meter.
But I see this away.
Let me understand something.
Yes.
Okay, if I would jump in real quick here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in short, you're agreeing with what Brother Philip and Volcano both are saying, that the system is not working.
Compromised.
It's flawed. I mean, so what is your point of contention?
Do you know? No, Dofa. Do you know some of the reason why we face currently in the country about power theft and the rest of that? It's not the LEC management; those in managerial positions stealing the power in the country. Wow. Power theft is hugely been carried out by ordinary Liberians. Okay. Right? Some of those are coming over this.
I disagree.
Not only usually Liberians, not only ordinary Liberians.
And government officials. And the government on Liberia, and the government on Liberia herself is not paying her own side of the token yet.
That is my point.
Okay, guys, because of time, we had to continue this discussion with next week again, but because of time,
it's a header discussion. It's a good discussion. Trust me.
Come back, Mr. Phillips. You need to
come back next week.
Let me just end on this. Let me just say something about power theft. Let me just say something about power theft, right? So, how do you define power theft? When you take power from La Côte d'Ivoire from March to October and you don't pay, but you sell the power and you take the money, how do you define that? That's power theft. That's power theft. When people buy the tokens and put it in the meter and you take the money and don't deliver the power as a power company, that's power theft. That is power theft. Because you have a contract as a service provider with that person who is a consumer who pay you for the meter. You're supposed to deliver their power. So you took the money to a Libango payment portal, but you can't deliver the power. That's power theft. So on the issue of power theft, that's the reason why the leadership, the management team at LEC is an abject failure, because they have not been able to deliver the services that people have paid for. And they've collected money. And now here it is, all the consumers' money that they've collected, they can't even pay for the service to the service provider because they've taken the money and cannot account for the money. That's power theft. That is power theft. So if you go down the road of power theft, rest assured that the management of LEC should be arrested, no different by Mary Brewer arresting the other people from Connect bypassing the meter. Exactly. They took the money, Ivoria's money. It's power theft. It's power theft. That's why we engineers who operate in this sector, we see power theft as an indication of the demand from the economy, from the consumers, as an opportunity to add more capacity to generate more revenue. That's the way the business works. People want the energy because they can buy it, they can run their cold water business, generate revenue, pay their children tuition, and do other things. So if the management team does not understand the business of energy, that's why we find ourselves where we are. That's why we find ourselves where we are.
Mr. Phillips, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a fascinating discussion, and it's good now that we come on 5 days. So next, I look for Tuesday or Thursday next week. We'll show we can squeeze it in so that we can continue the discussion.
Can we make an effort to reach out to the LEC people to see?
Yes,
if we can get
we'll reach out to Money Captain.
To his office, and maybe he can send the PR person here.
Yeah,
To be honest, I don't think you need a PR person. I think Pee Wee did an outstanding job today as the PR person for LEC. I think he did an impeccable job.
They know how to push you. They know how to push you.
Mr. Philip, good to meet you. Actually, I didn't do work for a PR for them. I did PR for the Republic, because to say that nothing happened in our country. No, I did. So say nothing has happened.
So
say nothing happened to LDC. So say nothing happened to LDC. I think that was a disservice. Something have happened. Because of challenges, something have happened. Yes.
So next week we'll try either Tuesday or Thursday to squeeze Mr. Phillips into the have a discussion. But Ben, please reach out to Mr. Captain and
yeah, I will reach out to him. I will reach out to
Mr. Tule so they can come and they will get the opportunity to come in.
Yeah, we need to reach out to Mr. Tule, Mr. Captain.
Thanks so much. It's always a pleasure to have you.
I want to know how Mr. Tule, the chairman of the board, and his CEO not performing, and he there. Then he get Mr. Phillips here explaining. Then Alex Drew saying that they took the money from Ghana to do. Yeah.
And please,
please
let us get our
Mr. Phillips, thank you so much, and we look forward next week. We'll try to fit in our time so that we can bring you back either Tuesday or Thursday so that we can continue to end the discussion because it's a serious thing and people like bro wanted to call all. People wanted to call, some people wanted to back you apparently. So would I hear the various calls would I tell you where we stand? So we'll not have the time, but please next week we'll definitely get in touch with you. Ben will reach out to Mr. Captain and P will reach out to Mr. Tule to see how they can get them to come and get a perspective about the host.
But people say Mr. Tule and Mr. Philip brother, so maybe
I want to say thank you so much, Mr. Philip. Thank you so much.
Mr. Philip, nice to meet you again, man. Nice to meet you.
I love Mr. Philip. Mr. Philip is very calm.
Mr. Philip, nice to meet you, Mr. Philip. On a serious note, I respect your professional skills. On a most serious note, I respect that. I respect it. I respect that. Yeah, I respect that. On a serious note, I love to see eloquent and intelligent appearance. I respect
it. Robert Morris is enjoying private life, and we were hoping that
why the rescue team rescue the country.
Oh, you also put out the rescue team rescuing. Oh, are you talking?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
This is all part of the advocacy. Well, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you so much. Reach out anytime.
Okay, guys, we all the time, But guys, let me say this though. There's the news, right? Now as of tonight, the president leaves for Italy, I think Saturday. But he has resolved. The president has resolved to change the entire LGA, the DEA staff. He has resolved that none of them will be coming back to the DEA, and he'll be even including the guy who is the officer in charge. They'll all be getting rid of them. So we look forward to see how he will do that. We're watching it. We just got the information because he met with some group of journalists this evening for hours, and that's what
he's talking about.
I can't go. I don't want. Come
on, that issue have been too many. That issue.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying gay. I'm saying is that. There are other things.
You always talk about that one. And the one for the platform, and I will talk it in the upper room, man.
But
guys, quickly, man. 1 minute.
Now, Alex can say we corrupt.
But man, I'm begging, man. And I don't want to be president. Made that decision. Right. But look, guys, quickly, man. We'll give everybody 1 minute to just be like close. We'll start with Volcano. Mr. Sheldon, it's a pleasure having you. Let me say this. Mr. Sheldon is a veteran Liberian journalist from Liberia and to the USA, I think member of the Association of Liberian Journalists in America. And it's a pleasure to have you on our platform, Mr. Shelton. You come with a lot of experience and so forth. You have nothing but respect for you, and I want to say it's a pleasure to have you. So you get your party in 1 minute, and then we'll go to Sylvester saying in the car. I want him to hit anything.
No, Sylvester got to wait.
Then from there, and Lofa.
No, I'm good.
Then say, so Mr. Sheldon, it's up to you. 1 minute, you guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good intellectual conversation here is stimulating enough. Quickly, let me just remind the public, if I can have this opportunity to enlighten everyone, that this weekend is the Association of Liberian Journalists in America National Convention. It will be held here in the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All of you guys are invited to come and hang out. Huh? Come on, man. Listen, man. Come on. You practice in the crowd. I said you are invited.
I can't see you because I will try to come there.
Yeah, the speaker of the house.
You don't know what's going on.
Kofunati will be gracing the occasion, of course. hundreds of us coming from all walks of life to be there. So we're encouraging you guys to come and hang out with us. It's the benefit banquet will be on Saturday. Tomorrow night is the pre-meet and greet, but Friday is the main meet and greet at Kenan's Wesley's house. I know you guys may know, but we're also touring the White House on Friday. So we leave here Friday morning, and the crew will be in the White House. Maybe I'm gonna have a handshake with Joe Biden. I don't know.
The current president, Mr. Sandy, is still the president.
No. We have an officer in charge. The president resigned. He and the vice president relocated to Liberia and work there right now with the rescue mission. So, Pee Wee Beza.
Pee Beza, okay.
Pee Beza. Oh, Pee Beza with the rescue mission, huh?
But they gotta get a jolly.
So,
no, the minute president more job for Aja too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So quickly, let me just close on this. I think that the issue of LEC is an age-old problem, and with everything I've heard, and not to say that I know it all, know a lot of it, but when one person occupies all of the key roles within an institution, then what is that institution? It sounds like he owns the institution. And until we can make that correction first, that Money Captain cannot occupy all of those roles, there are many competent Liberians who should be occupying those roles for check and balance, then the LEC will still have this problem. And if it's true, then something has to be done. No matter the arrangement, that arrangement has to be revisited to ensure that LEC serves the Liberian people. And on the issue of the debt owed to the Ivorian government, it is binding on them to make good on that promise. And even if they try to divert attention to Ghana, where is the current going to pass? Is it flying over African space and coming to Liberia? And we'll have, so I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but they must pay their bills and they must, do that for the country's image, because it doesn't look good for Liberia. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, but part of the system, basically, I would say, is that now there is a system that we always come and say this is unfolding in terms of one person. Money Captain is not in all of the position at the LEC. We need to be very clear and stop giving misinformation to the folks. Money Captain is the CEO. He's not. We have the CEO, we have the chief operating officer, we have the compliance, we have 3 executive directors. And those executive directors play roles in different areas. So for us to just sit and come with the belief that we're giving this kind of information to the folks to believe that one man is a demagogue in the institution, and he's not. He's a policy guy. And that's one of the things I would love to say. It's not the issue of us coming to say this individual is there doing all the things, and we have other individuals in the LEC. I've known people that work with the LEC before. For the young lady that just passed away, they also rest in peace. You are one of the president that work in the institution, and we all we were at the University of Liberia before together, all of things, and all of them show that there's policy issue that's implemented. So if we cannot work through this policy process, and we believe that we'll just come and sit and misinform folks about things, I agree. Liberia, we have some major challenges in basically. And what I believe the LEC is trying to do is trying to maximize their strength and minimize on their weakness. It is obvious all over the place. Now, the new reservoir, the new hydro may not have, but we have the run-on river reservoir is also supporting. The last time in Monrovia, when LA said small like today, big like tomorrow, there was absolutely nothing in Monrovia in 2006. Today, there are street lights in major part of the cities now. Many communities are being lighted. Many communities, including my own Dixville, Dixville, and that of the other community around the Bonan Farm. Those communities being lighted today because LEC is progressively moving through those communities and what have you. We're paying 15 cents per kilowatt. 15 cents in the region. We are the least in the region in terms of paying for kilowatt in our region today, in the Mara River basin and in the ECOWAS basin, basically. that are other things. You remember in Ghana, while this current president that was just defeated didn't win the election the last time when they even Benson came out of the Dumbo power thing, because there was too much consistent in terms of loss of power in Accra, Ghana, and other things, because they were purchasing it very high, almost 47 cents. We're paying 15. So there's some things that unfold in our country that is not all really good, and not super, it's not superb, but we need to commend those administrators that will do better things for us. Today, the first time we ever benefited from Compact was through the instrumentality and the hard work of this same man you talk about today. Is there anything like resemble usurpation of function? Is he usurping function of other managers? Absolutely no. What he's doing, he's trying to trickle down. The trickle down management effect is why he's carrying on in the institute. That's why today we're not there yet. But appropriately, we need to support them and stop this thing about backstabbing or undermining them and believing that we will make the thing go successful. No, it's not about, it's power struggle unfolding over there. Somebody want to be the CEO and they're not the CEO and they're trying to bring the CEO down. Period. The point. Have a wonderful night, guys. Good night.
Can I do my closing quickly, please?
No,
I need to run.
No.
I need to do I need to run. I do. I really do.
Ellis, man.
No, I beg you, I need to run.
I'll give him the time to finish.
Ellis can close. Ellis can be the last, because that way then he can deal with all of us together. Okay. but let me say this. I know that Moni Captain was placed and was handed a difficult organization. In fact, when his contract ended with the MCC, I think that's when the government of Liberia or the partners or something, I don't know the actual story per se, but I know he was asked to go and help to become either the officer in charge at one point, and I think we had lost the chair of the board or the executive director or something, and at some point he carried out those two functions. But I do agree with Pee-wee that for you to say, and that's why I specifically won't go now, because when I finish, then Alex can talk what he wants to talk. And for Alex to say that Moni Captain is corrupt, he did this. First of all, there's nothing to show that he is, right? I think he's been in a difficult position. Could he have done well? Could he have done way better? Yes, there's always room for people to go. The LEC issue has been a Achilles heel in our country. We also have to understand there's an issue of distribution. Look at what Volcano highlighted here, the issue of meters, right? One group saying that's free, there's another program. So it's a whole cumbersome thing when it comes to this LEC thing. And I think we need to put all hands on deck. And key of all what we need to do is we need to be innovative. I think we need to find new innovative solutions to our to our energy problems, whether when it comes to solar, whether when it comes to managing, I think it was Volcano who talked about the rivers, doing dams and all. We need to be innovative. What I see is, and that's why I was excited when I saw on his page that he said they had concluded discussions for them to put a small dam or something or a plant on the St. Paul River. Those are the kind of things that I think we need to start to do. We need to start exploring clean energy. We need to start exploring solar. We get enough sun during the dry season for us to be able to have a solar plant and then flip toward the hydro in the rainy season. We need innovation to be able to solve some of these problems. What I do not want us to do is to hop on this notion that because, like Pee-wee said, if there is a power struggle, because somebody wants some job and this other person wants some job, because tomorrow, guess what? It may be another CEO, it may be another managing director there, and they may have these same challenges. What are we going to say to them? So let us be innovative. Let's look at it from a holistic standpoint, and let's attack this issue of power and find a way to settle the debt with Ivory Coast, because at some point, I'm sure there's some kind of negotiation going on. Those are my thoughts on it. I have to run. But look forward to having a very fast. And then Volcano, it's good to have you on. Look forward to seeing you more and engaging you more on the platform. Thank you.
Okay. Can I go now, Mr. Ben?
Yeah.
All right.
But
may I go home and see you?
Ben, you should at least say them. Wait.
No, I gotta run.
You watch the tape later.
I will listen. And people, and Alex, you talk anything about me, I will respond to you.
You're the first man I'm starting with.
Okay.
So let me say something. In Liberia, there are only 3 groups of people. I will repeat, 3 groups of people. There is the stupidician, that the ones who believe that they and the party own Liberia, and so they're supposed to be in power, even though they have messed up the country. They're taking billions of dollars in loans, but they believe that they're supposed to own the country and we're supposed to shut up. Then there's the Son of a Swans, the boycott a group of people where they come to power, they're doing the same thing that other people are doing, and then there are good Liberians, informed Liberians who really want to build a country. Let me just make it very clear.
And then the last group, the people that get out of know, they don't know nothing.
Let me say it again, all right?
Yeah, that's the last group.
Listen, if you're a politician or Son of a Swan, you can turn your radio on when I speak. I'm not concerned about you.
So far, you love me
because you know you want
and you find that category.
Listen to people that will tell you the country doing well, that will be living in America, the children are eating good, they're living good, but then your children in Liberia suffering, and you get money to go to school, you get nothing, but you want to listen to Sylvester Peary and Ben Sembi, where they own a life here good in America. That's your problem. I'm speaking to those Liberians who really want change and who really want to hold people accountable. And I will continue to speak about it. Volcano, it's very nice to have you on the closing argument. You're very, very knowledgeable, and I hope you come more often because you bring a lot of balance, a lot of good informed decision, and a lot of research. So I'm glad that you're here. Hopefully, Mr. Phillips will come back because we need experts. We don't.
I got one Koyiba for you.
There's some people they ain't get no expertise. They get past their government. They can't provide anything to Liberian people. So their job is to go and support money captain. This man has been there for
I don't think anybody supporting money captain. I mean, that's an engagement.
Every time can you tell the man to start interrupting me?
But you don't. Yeah, Lofa, can you go ahead, Lofa?
Yeah.
No, they will not let me because they will not let me. So let me say this: people that money captain are the problem in Liberia. He do no favor for Liberian people. He went and signed a bogus contract, paid himself over $20,000. When it was revealed, he came out and talked a lot of gibberish. If they had real president in Liberia, he would be in jail. And let me make it very clear here. I'm not in the business of going there whether the men are good men or bad men. When you're in a corrupt, when you carry on corruption, you're a bad man. When you're mismanaging the country resources and paying yourself tens of thousands of dollars while teachers can get paid, people then who doing good, valuable job, you're a bad person. So I'm not here to kind of sugarcoat you and kind of make you feel you've done nothing for the Liberian people. You've taken millions of dollars over the years. Say you providing LEC where you the consultant, you the board of director at one point, you all those things. So I hope you will come on this show. I hope you will come on this show, yeah, so he can tell us. So you can show all the LEC financial statement for the last 5 years. That's what I want to see. Because I can go to Ghana Power Company. I can see the purchase power, $372 million. I can see how much they distributed. I can see the profit. So what more capacity do you need to produce a simple financial statement? They do it in accounting 101. And you call yourself a manager. You're a disgrace. Thank you very much. And I enjoy the show. I'll be back.
Alex the Man Jones.
Thank you.
I mean, to be honest, it was a great show tonight. I really enjoyed the interaction. Where's Volcano? Volcano. I mean, you turn your camera off, but I hope you're listening. If you're listening, Dr. Peabody is going to send you the Cash App for the commercial earlier. We'll get it to you. But honestly, great to have you on here. You know, being a part of the conversation. I think it is and will always be a good thing to have, you know, diverse view on the show, hopefully to hold others accountable. And you also come with the background of journalism, so that's a good thing for the platform. And in my closing, I'm not going to address the issue of the electricity in Liberia. I want to focus on the breaking news that Tamerlane shared. If President Boykai actually do what was stated, okay, what Tamerlane stated, that would be a good thing. It tells me that he's actually ready to lead, okay? Because I don't see any reason why Fadiga should be let go and Abraham Kurman stay at the LDEA. No. I think the entire incident that took place, they both should be held accountable just as much, and both of them should be let go. Like I said, I'm so much in prayer to see that President Boykai will listen to my appeal, bring an independent body, bring someone from outside, and let them focus on addressing the issue of drug abuse and hopefully helping to save the future generation of people, as compared to having people who are politically motivated and they're attempting to sell themselves. That's my only focus, and that's the only thing I want to focus on tonight. That is the thing about President Boycott having to let both individuals, not both, I mean all of them, I will honestly do a recalibration. Let everybody go. Bring new faces, new folks in there. Let them work with the guys, the technical guys out there, and make sure that the LDEA again is respected. And not only should that happen, but they should also invest. Let us do a little bit of budgetary allocation, add some more money to them so that they can help fight the issue of drugs abuse in our country and hopefully save the next generation of people. And in closing, Amin Modar did what he did today. He resigned. He was not terminated. So President Boycott is yet to prove himself. He's yet to show his strength. I wait to see when he shall fire someone from their position. Until then, I think he's still acting like a weak link. He's waiting for all of the chips to fall in place. And I don't think he's really going to stand up like the president that some other people thought he would have been, to be courageous enough to terminate people because he just disagreed with their whether ethical, moral, or any form of belief. He's not showing that. I don't think it will ever happen because he was a beneficiary of similar. I remember he said he was never terminated from any position. He resigned when, of course, Dara Dillon and other people shared with us at one point in time that he was actually terminated. But I think it was a good show. Let us continue to keep the people informed. I think Liberians appreciate the platform, and we will continue to do what we do.
Guys, it was a great show tonight, man. Let me say that. Thank all of you for coming. It was good to see you, man. I haven't seen you for a minute, bro. Where you been? I ain't seen you for a minute for kind of so.
Well, but man, the thing is a full-time commitment. Right now, the issues room, we've trying to reconfigure schedules, so that's why we've been off for a little bit now, and it will be for a while because the adjustment in everybody's work schedule is difficult. That 5 o'clock, that 5 o'clock time you'll do here, not everyone can do it. We gotta do it maybe by 6, 7 in the evening or
it's quite
other time of the day.
It's quite a challenge though. But man, good to see you.
And then also when you look at what happened in Liberia every time, that made you weak. I'm like, we talking, but nothing's changing. So what difference would it make now? And then you get tired.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. 9 months rescue. We'll wait for.
But interestingly, and sorry that we Lufat brought about the issue of the LDEA as breaking news. It shouldn't have been even breaking news.
Yeah.
Professional conduct and unprofessional conduct.
Yeah.
I mean, unprofessional conduct, especially if it violates the standards of conduct, is a terminable offense. Right. So how long does it take? This is not something that happened in secret. It was recorded. It was all over the world. Everyone heard it. Everyone saw it. Everyone knows about it. And then you take this long to make the decision, and yet it's still speculated because what Tomalin is saying is speculated. It hasn't happened, So yeah, there's a lot of things that I think this president hasn't done. To say one of the things I thought about rather today, based on what happened with Mr. Modad and what has happened, I think the president has shown that the whole 40 years of experience is not experience. It's 40 years of age in working for government. There's a difference. There's a difference. You worked 40 years in government, but how much experience did you gain over the 40 years compared to someone who works in government for 5 years and gain more because, so there's a disparity here when we continue to say, 40 years of experience. No, it was 40 years of service. 40 years of being in government doesn't equate to 40 years of experience. And I think that's what is showing now. The ability to make decisions based on timing is critical. Most decisions are made based on timing, and the longer you take, it shows your indecisiveness. And some situations are just cut dry. Do it and be done with it.
We have to recall here that leadership, we have different kind of a leadership, right? They have the situational approach in leadership. Leaders do react. It's not all leaders that react on aspect the situation that unfold. There are some leaders that take time to react. So reaction on the face of leadership. It's a category of how leaders respond to issues.
Every institution runs on policy. When there's policy violation, we act on it.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
There were accusations that needed to be verified, basically. So in some cases, some leaders give the benefit of the doubt.
All right,
okay. Good night.
But next time I'll call you, man. I'll call you.
All right. Okay.
But I'm not looking at accusation. I'm looking at the fact. People argue. People curse each other, right? So that's the fact. That was what we're looking at.
All right.
All right, man. Thank you.